even better.
For double 16. Oh, it's remarkable.
He's one of them coming.
Games on the first leg.
This is for another break of throw.
Games on the third leg.
The break of throw.
It's on the
Right
second
in
leg.
the middle.
He'll be down to Darren Johnson in the next match.
Only need the one at double 16. He only needs the one at double 16.
Game show the first
Mine's
leg.
double 13. A very good evening and welcome along to the live lounge here in Portsmouth for your Thursday night fling here at the Modus Super Series. We have 5 players and some big names in action over the course of the next 3 hours. It should be fast, it should be furious, it should be fun. Talking about fun, we've got the asset Paul Nicholson with us here this evening to talk about all the action. But before we talk about tonight, let's have a little bit of a chat about this afternoon. Well, it's Chris Hurds who leads the way as far as Group C is concerned.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise to see Chris at the top of the table, but I think it's welcomed as well. Sometimes you need something that's rather unpredictable. I think when it comes to tonight, we are expecting a couple of players to possibly dominate, but when it comes to Group C, I think it was nice to see somebody maybe overachieving because there were other people who were expected to go out there and do it, and some people didn't.
Well, both him and Scott Baker on 8 points at the top of the table. This is the first time you've joined us this week. This is how the tournament bracket looks. Ron Moulenkamp won Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday respectively. And Group C was what we were watching this afternoon. But tonight is all about a heavyweight-looking Group B. Andy Bolton, a perennial finalist, a perennial Champions Week participant. Cam Crabtree, who made it through to Champions Night in the previous series, to be joined alongside Keelan Kay, a player looking to re-establish his form. And Joe Murnan and Johann Brouwer, who made their way through Group A, but you get the sense that both have got gears to go.
And they're going to have to find them. That's not a disguise at all, because when it comes to their overall averages over the first 3 days, if they bring those to this group, they will finish in the bottom 2, in my opinion. And the likes of Keelan Kay, Andy Bolton, and Cam Crabtree are going to be too strong. They are very fast, effective players. And especially Andy, who has got so much experience and so much of an engine to be able to do 8 games in 2 days, to him is chicken feed. It's really easy for him. He's played as many as 29 games in a week, and he will want to sprint to the finish this week and get himself into that Champions Week.
Let's talk about Joe Murnan. Didn't play his best in Group A, but when you consider the fact the opposition should be higher this evening, do you think that will bring the best darts out of Joe?
I think there are 2 reasons why Joe will probably play better in this group. One, I think it is very well known that he plays better at night, and shots like that we might have to see from Joe. He used to have a nickname called Midnight. And from the northwest of England, I asked people why he was called that, and they said he plays better close to midnight. And I thought, well, this is the perfect group for him then. But I just get the feeling that if he's got someone like Andy Bolton, who he knows very well, around him, and the threat of someone like Crabtree and Kay, he might just have to go up an extra notch, and it might just fire him into action.
Well, we'll talk about Bolton and Crabtree in a little bit more detail now. We can have a look at the outright betting as far as this group is concerned. And they're the 2 that the bookmakers both fancy. And the bookmakers can't prize a par. They're both 2-1. But if you had a gun to your head and you had to pick one over the other, who would it be?
Bolton. I think he's just a tiny bit more dependable when it comes to making Saturdays and executing the plan. I've seen Cam in some pretty tight situations in the past. He has succeeded most of the time, but has had a couple of heartbreaking moments. I just find Andy a little bit more dependable from the gun. So I expect him to qualify alongside Cam, but as far as winning the group, it could be very tight.
Do you think Cam's a player that's very battle-hardened? He's still a young man, only 20 years of age, got a vast amount of experience, but he's not the type of player that dwells upon negative experience. If anything, a couple of issues that he's had, obviously a couple of negatives in terms of missing out on the tour card, on the challenge tour, not getting the tour card for you, Q score. He's actually turned those negatives into positives with the performance over recent months.
I think with Cam, he's very realistic about where he is. And for the amount of experience he's got at his age, he understands that it doesn't have to come overnight. He could spend 3-4 years playing here and on the Challenge Tour and getting invites to the Pro Tour and seeing it as a really, really good apprenticeship. I think when he gets to the age of maybe 25, 26, he might see himself as having the amount of talent and experience to then go and mix it on a permanent basis. But for now, he's just happy playing darts as a profession and being very successful. We're talking about an international player. You've got to be really good to be able to do that to get into that England team. And let's face facts. He gets the invites to the Pro Tour and he loves coming here. And every time he comes here, he is a tonic to everybody. He's such a great guy and a great player.
It's 18 plus, speakgamblerware.org if you can have a flutter on the Super Series today. But we kickstart our action with Keelan Kay in action and ever present here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. He kicks off his 7th campaign here at the Super Series, hoping to make it through to the Saturday night setup. The man from Plymouth is going to be buoyed ahead of this campaign, and earlier on this evening, I caught up with him. Keelan, great to see you back here at the Super Series, back for another stint. How much looking forward to the next couple of days?
Yeah, really good. I'm looking forward to it a lot. It's going to be a tough group, but why not? Give it a go and see what happens.
Where is the dart set at the minute since we've seen you last?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, it was a tough couple of weeks in Germany and done a lot of miles lately, but it's darts. Anything can happen on the day, and hopefully this week will be my turn in luck.
Well, we've seen you here before. We've seen you have a lot of success here before. Does this arena hold good memories for yourself?
Yeah, sometimes. I play some good games here. I mean, I've not actually made a Saturday night yet, but you never know. This week might be my week.
It most certainly could be, but it's a very tough group. But you're the type of player that embraces challenges, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm normally the one who likes to upset the players a lot, but hopefully I can be the one at the top end of the table this time.
There's been a lot of talk about other players in this group going into this week, but does that suit you in the perspective of you can almost free roll to a certain extent?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think I'd rather be the player under the radar a little bit, with no pressure, and what will be, will be.
Do you reckon that maybe playing on that stage something could really click for you in the next couple of days?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, why not? Give it a go and see what happens.
We wish you all the very best of luck, Keelan. All good luck, all the best tonight.
Thank you.
The mild-mannered man from the southwest takes to the stage. Keelan Kay up against the man based in the northwest in Joe Murnan, a player who spent many a year on the PDC Pro Tour. It's a place where Keelan will hope to find himself at some point in the not too distant future, but it's a battle of two players at differing ends of the Richter scale of experience. But for 22 years of age, Keelan Kay has racked up a fair bit of experience. Twice a development tour event winner. Actually narrowly missed out on his PDC tour card through that route a few years ago. Taking on Murnan now at the middle age of 40 from Halliwell. 22 Grand Mission dart he throws, and he's played on all the big stages, the match play stage, the world stage, and now the Super Series stage. And you get the sense that this group, the timing of it, you mentioned it in the introduction to tonight's programme, this will be more suited to Joe than perhaps what the Group A programme was.
First leg, Keelan to throw first. Game on.
We assume that this will be more suitable for Joe, but over the next 8 games that he will play, 4 tonight and 4 tomorrow, we're about to find out if he can get to Saturday with 2 other players from this group.
100.
Let's face facts, and we must be brutally honest at this point. He was fortunate to get into Group B, averaging just shy of 79 in Group
59.
A. His doubles were under 30%, like a lot of the other players were as well, especially the 3 that went to Group C.
81.
He did have a sufficient amount of maximums for me at getting 13, but the overall level of play against the likes of Kay, Bolton and Crabtree
58.
must improve.
He already feels a lot more settled. We've only seen a couple of visits, and that's the night's first max, and I don't think it's going to be the last.
If he blasts this group
80.
over the next couple of nights,
140.
it will prove that he is very much a better player at night. He might be like other
80.
players who are nocturnal. Like the Owl, Richie Howson, who a couple of weeks ago was absolutely remarkable.
82.
But unfortunately
Johann,
left his
60.
best darts in the group instead of playing them on Saturday night. Double top for Murnan.
40.
And he misses
Keelan
the
to
chance
122.
for an opening break. Keelan Kay needs 4 18s in bull to hold in 6 visits.
Single leaves the ball, triple leaves double 7. Bullseye it is. Bullseye which isn't found. Well, the first
20.
11 darts of this leg were nigh on perfect for Joe Murnan. The last 4 haven't quite gone to plan. Double 5. That's high.
10.
And that's just above. And so Keelan Kay could
25.
pocket a leg here on throw, which midway through looked like he had no right of winning. Double 12. Now double 6 is found.
Game
And
shot on the
the
first
lord
leg,
of the
Keelan
board
Kay.
is on the board. Kay leads 1-0.
Second leg, Jody through first. Game on.
Keelan is 22 now. It feels like he's been around forever. Played
54.
England youth darts and was the best player in those teams that he was a part of. Had some good experiences at that level as well.
100.
And was very highly regarded around the age of 18, 19. And did get himself a couple of development tour titles in
99.
2021, but hasn't won another one since. It's not for the lack of trying. He is a very well-travelled young man.
40.
Went to Hildesheim recently to play in development tour darts there. But if you want to succeed
96.
as a young dart player these days, you've got to have a really good game in you all the time because the talent pool is stacked.
And I think there's something to be said about
100.
young dart players that are at their peak or play well in their teens. They're moving into their 20s. And there is a life aspect to it because
43.
when you're 17, 18, you don't have as many responsibilities on your shoulders. So you can play relaxed and you can almost free roll to a certain extent. And I suppose
95.
I'm kind of lucky at this present moment in time that I'm a similar age to a lot of players that are in this scenario. And you know, when you move into your early 20s and into your
100.
mid-20s, you then have responsibilities that begin to lurk on your shoulders in terms of what you earn isn't going to be all your money. You're sometimes having to make ends meet through the sport, or you've got other responsibilities, partners, or possibly kids if you have
58.
children young.
Jody Carr 109.
And Murnan has to switch on dart 2.
49.
Keelan is
Jody
hoping that
Carr
he doesn't have to
108.
switch on dart 2. He doesn't.
86.
He tidies up really well. But if Murnan has
Well,
more
84.
trouble on
Jody
the
Carr
outer ring,
60.
Kay is waiting. Well, at least that's not going to be in the way. Tops again.
20.
He doesn't get it
Jody
right
Carr
this time. And
24.
someone who doesn't show a great deal of emotion, he showed a little bit there. He looks annoyed. Double 3. Rusty Jake Rodriguez's favourite double this week.
21.
But can I find the
Jody
trapdoor?
Carr
But a couple of
40.
times tonight on the setup, Joe Murnan has missed a big number in the first couple of legs. This time he
shot on the
manages to
second
get
leg,
away
Joe
with it, level
Murnan.
up at 1 apiece. But just going back to my point in the previous leg, when you move
Third
from your
leg,
teens to your
Keelan through
mid-20s,
first. Game
your
on.
perspective of life changes. Other responsibilities come into play. And so sometimes from a profession where you can go and enjoy and anything you earn is a bonus, then you have to
85.
switch that mindset to the perspective of, I need to earn this or I need to earn that to either break even in terms of your hotel stay or your
59.
fees or making ends meet through the sport. It's a different perspective altogether.
It's very different now than what it was a few years ago, though. It's one thing Joe
100.
would talk about quite freely. When he first joined the PDC Pro Circuit, there were entry fees of £105 per tournament. So if you played,
11.
for example, 2 Players' Championships back-to-back in a weekend, you'd have to pay for travel, accommodation, and £210 in entry fees. There are players now who are playing on the PDC Pro Tour who have never paid an entry fee because of when they abolished them.
100.
Which is one of the best moves the PDC made.
It seems to have been the way because
100.
they haven't reintroduced them. They obviously didn't need that capital injection. But it does give freedom to the playing crop
100.
to go out there and
Jody
do
Carr
their best,
116.
especially when it's £1,000 for one win. That's a worrying dart for Keelan because I count that as 3 times in this match already that he's thrown a dart that's gone in
40.
too flat.
Well, it's been a strange start to the evening's proceedings.
140.
At 140 means that both players are on a 2-darter after 5 visits. Kay first turn at the 76. He's going to have 2 in his hand at double 8. Only needs the 1. That time, no mistake. And Keelan Kay has a 2-1 lead over Joe Murnan.
4-way Joe to throw first. Game on.
I've just been looking at the averages on the development tour this season. If you look at the number 1 spot at Wessel Nyman, 94 flat for 56 games. That is quite incredible. Closely followed by the likes of Van Veen, Nico Springer, Dylan Slevin, and Sebastian Białecki, who was lost in a weekly final here in this series. You have to go back from the top spot to Keelan Kay, 15 points, 79 and change. If he averages that over the next couple of nights,
100.
His participation in Saturday is definitely not guaranteed. But based on what we've seen this week, it does stand a chance.
60.
Well, right now, he's playing pretty much to his annual numbers. He's averaging this game 80.31, 2 from 7 on the outer ring, 28.5%. For the year, 80.33 average, 31.16% on the doubles. We know that he's got a big game in the locker. You get the sense that over the next couple of days, he's going to have to unleash it.
59.
Just a better level is something that he's looking for.
100.
Good line there from Keelan. Over the last few years, his main struggle has been missing the target left. So far in this game,
45.
hasn't had that problem.
Killing your car 118.
But he's been afforded time and space in this leg by Joe. Remember, this would be for a breaker throw for Keelan. He's left himself on double 12 and he's going to get a go at it to move 3-1 in front. For Murnan, it started so well the first few visits, and
38.
from there, things have severely nosedived.
Haven't they just? You don't see Keelan Kay being sympathetic because he's now 3-1 up. He is so close to that average that I said he has got on the development tour at the minute. In fact, he's 0.08 away from it. But his doubles are all right. 3 hits out of 9. You take that most of the time at this level.
100.
Well, I'm going to play commentary bingo with you, Mr. Nicholson, because the phrase in this game has kind of been the phrase that we've been saying all week. Just doing enough to get the job done is Keelan Kay.
When I've got the privilege of working with some young dart players, I always tell them, enough is enough. That can be construed in 2 different ways.
54.
If something isn't working, you change it and you say, right, enough's enough, let's change something and work on it. However, in a game situation,
45.
you have to look at it with a different tone. Enough is enough. Don't be disappointed to win a game
41.
with a 77 average. Be happy that you won the situation. So enough, in this case, is 77. Don't walk away from a 4-1 win or something like that and think, well, I should have played better. You've won the situation. That's what young dart players have got to understand. There are going to be times where you'll average 105 and lose. You've lost that situation. But if you can win more than you lose, you will succeed.
I do have a microcosmic sense of sympathy for younger players in the fact that they do live in a stat-padded generation, whereas back in when you were playing on floor events, you didn't have averages, you didn't have dart connect, you were playing off a whiteboard and pen, and so you couldn't totalize averages, so all you had was the win or the loss. Well, this could be the win in the locker for Keelan Kay here, but he's not going to find the second treble 20 that would have left him on double 8, but he's going to leave himself on tops if he returns.
Yeah, we didn't have Dart Connect, Henry, but we had Alex Roy to tell us everything about it. Double 5.
80.
And that might be that for Murnan in game 1.
Because Kay wants tots for a 4-1 win to get his campaign underway. Double 10. It's a W for Keelan Kay. He gets up and running. The Lord of the board is on the board. He gets the better of Joe Murnan by 4 legs to 1. Doing what he needed to do to get over the line. That's been the phrase of the week. And just off camera there, a fist bumper celebration from Keelan Kay. The outpouring of emotion following a battle against Joe Murnan. It's Cam Crabtree and Johann Brouwer coming up after this short break. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Keelan Kay got the better of Joe Murnan by 4 legs to 1. And so the man from the southwest is up and running. Let's see what the man from the Netherlands can do. Johann Brouwer, as he takes on Cam Crabtree, his first match of the week here at the live lounge in Portsmouth. Himself and Andy Bolton, the 2-1 joint favourites of the odds compiler to go on and win this Group B. Crabtree, a player who made it through to Champions Night the last time he was here. The 20-year-old from Croydon in London hit a 9-dart finish on the Challenge Tour. We can actually change that to a Challenge Tour winner, and he has done it on a couple of occasions, says Shazam, up against the 31-year-old Johann Brouwer, the 31-year-old from Urk in the Netherlands, second in the Dutch national tour system, and very much a character. If you haven't watched him so far this week, he will give it some gumption. And I was actually having a little bit of a chat with Johann this evening. He was having a little bit of a practice on the stage, and he just said, well, it's just the way that he plays the game. He plays it with a passionate flair. It's just him. But this is a player, Paul, Cam Crabtree, who has got big expectation on his shoulders, a high ceiling. And that start is a reason as to why.
Just a really good player and a great find as well. I know we say this almost every time he comes here. And he is a weekly winner here.
99.
Let's not forget that. I think if he'd come here and still hadn't won a week, he would feel more pressure. But we still expect from Cam because we know how good he can be. That debut performance where he averaged over 115 against Matt Jackson, it's something that everybody
95.
who's worked here for the last couple of years remembers. Because I, who was not here that week, saw that performance and thought,
82.
well, hang on a minute. I know of Cam Crabtree, but now I want to know more. And I still want to know more.
100.
He's a player that has got everything in front of him, and I think what he also has alongside his good pal Owen Bates
60.
is a real good mentality. They are the architects of what a modern pro looks like. They do everything right on and off the hockey, keeps himself in shape, has a very strict practice routine,
100. Come to car
and it has paid
120.
dividends over the last couple of years.
Beautiful first start.
Game
All
shot on the
three
first leg,
were
Cam Crabtree.
perfect. That was simply sumptuous
Second
from
leg, yellows
Cam,
on the
who
first.
thoroughly enjoyed that start.
Game on.
Thank you for proving our point, Cam. As for Johann, he's just been introduced to Group B with a
60.
15 darter. I get the feeling that this situation might be a bit more difficult than Group A.
Well, we said, didn't we, that
86.
we expected Crabtree and Bolton to really bring the level up in this week 12, and Cam has already given us a glimpse as to what's to come in that particular department.
85.
What we did see from Brouwer yesterday, though, was a really good day's play. Bagged himself a lot of
46.
points. Overall, his weekly average just shy of 83. 36% on doubles for the week. And it's a very fair reflection when you're comparing
95.
Johann with Murnan, because they've both hit 50 darts at double this week. But
85.
Brouwer got 50 with 38 less shots. When I was looking at that earlier, I found that fascinating. So he's a sneaky good doubler, but maybe
41.
it's that department that needs work, the scoring element. Because Joe Murnan had 8 more 180s than him this week. So I wouldn't
140.
classify Johann as a big scorer. I'd classify him as steady in that department. But when he gets chances, he's very good.
100.
For him, it's
Down your
all
car,
going to be about staying
144.
power. He's actually left himself on the 120 that was hit against him in the previous leg. But Crabtree here, double 12 for 144. And that would have been back-to-back
Johann
ton plus outs,
120.
straight out the gate. To negate it. Treble for tops. Doesn't go.
Even at this early stage,
60.
you get the feeling that Johann thought he needed that to stay in the match. Now this is for a break a throw. Wow.
12.
Found the gap
60.
when in fact he wanted to find the green. He finds the rough, and things might get rougher if Johann hits tops.
Game shot on
Who
the
said he was a
second leg,
decent
Johann
finisher?
Brouwer.
He's just proven it.
And you get the sense this evening that for
Third leg
Johann, he's
comes
going to
into
have
the
to
first. Game
pick
on.
off opportunities like that. The odd combination, maybe after an opponent's missed a double. He cannot afford to come up short with opportunities tonight.
45.
And first time of asking, he has taken advantage, and level this game is at 1 apiece.
And just like Keelan Kay, Cam went to Hildesheim for
88.
development tour action in the last week and a bit. He had a quarter-final on his first day. And the next event, he made the last 32, which is a pretty steady day. Couple of last 32s
100.
on day 2. And on the final day, when they have one event, he actually lost out to Owen Bates.
100.
And that was in the last 64. I think for a player of Cam's calibre, to not get a win so far
59.
in the development tour season, he will see that as a fail. But when you look at the players that are above him in the rankings and in the averages, you're talking about some of the
130.
best players under 25 on earth. And one of them is Bo Greaves. You've got other people who have succeeded here in that
60.
list. Victor
Cam Crabtree,
Tingstrom,
92.
Owen Bates is one of them. Danny Jansen, who you've seen in this series. Sebastian
Game
Białecki.
shot on the third leg. Cam Crabtree.
But Crabtree is just plotting his way through this game with consummate
Fourth leg,
ease.
Johann to throw first.
Even when he misses,
Game on.
he goes to the back of the stage and resets and starts his process again. This is so mature.
And never mind, he is 20 years of age,
83.
2-0.
Can I put something into perspective for you about Crabtree?
97.
When I was 20, it was 1999. At his age, I made my debut for my county.
100.
At a younger age than that, he was playing for his country. He is way
81.
ahead of a lot of people's journeys. Think about all the experience he's had in the last 2 years, playing the Pro Tour, the Challenge Tour, the Dev Tour, playing for England.
58.
He's crammed an awful lot into a fast-tracked career where I think he might hit his prime in something like 5 years.
100.
We've already seen tonight Luke Littler, who was here winning a series a year ago, has topped the Premier League at the expense
140.
of Humphreys, Van Gerwen, and Michael Smith, all world champions. And the race for that title
140.
is
Johann
on.
120.
Well, we've already seen the 120 come into play once in this match. Is it going to be the case again?
Game
Yes,
shot on the
is the
fourth leg.
answer.
Johann
2 for
Brouwer.
2 on the doubles for Johann Brouwer. It's the second 120 out of the match. And we have a level game at 2-2.
Game on.
Proving a very hard man to get rid of here, Johann.
99.
Look at those numbers. One of them very respectable, the
125.
other one flawless. They can barely be separated.
135.
But what I am really impressed with so far is Cam's heat map around that 60. It looks really tight. What I mean by that is
43.
when he misses the 60, he doesn't miss it by much. When Johann does have a bad dart, it can miss by an inch. That's about as big a miss as we've seen from Cam up there.
59.
And he even has time to swat a fly as he goes to retrieve his darts. Is Brouwer going to be swatting up maxis? The
139.
139 will do it. Keeps this leg at a even kilter after 9 darts each.
That's a splendid
125.
recovery. Johann's got to ask the question here. Set yourself a target. That target should be 54.
100.
He doesn't quite get there.
Car 83.
Big time exchange. 2 double tops. So here comes
28.
Johann's chances.
Johann your car 94.
And Crabtree missed the big number there. So if he does come back, he's going to have to spurn a dart.
He's thinking about something that isn't that missed single at the minute. That's in. That one isn't.
54.
And Crabtree now
55.
can only get 2 darts at a double.
This is such a vital play in this match. Tops. Double 10.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
Little
Cam
bit of an
Crabtree.
exert of celebration there for Cam.
Yeah, I
6
think
leg
that is
Johann
someone
to
trying
first.
to say this is
Game
my
on.
stage. I'm convinced in that leg that he heard something and he didn't like it.
Well, this is part of the thing. The players in Group A
100.
towards the end of the group worked out what Johann does. Cam hasn't played Johann yet this week.
I think he knows already what he's up against. And you said it earlier in the week.
140.
If Cam gets a little bit of adrenaline moving, he turns into a slightly different beast.
He can do both extremes. He can
45.
play in a zen-like state, but he can also become a pink beast that can be unleashed late on at night.
97. $60.
Well, that's the first real yelp we've heard from Johann. And Cam just stands to the back of the stage, just allows what happens to happen, and now we'll get back to the job in hand.
See, this is sometimes where you have to do your homework.
100.
This shouldn't be a surprise to Cam, because he's got social media accounts, he's got a YouTube app,
140.
he
Coming
follows
down,
us,
164.
and he has notifications. He should know what he's up against. This should not be a surprise if he was tuning in this week to do his
64.
homework on his
Johann
opponents.
156.
Well, there will be a yelp if this goes. It could still go. Double 18 grazes the
120.
wire.
And you
Coming
know
100.
that Crabtree wants to put this away now. Zero faffing.
Double 10 to get the job done, and
Game shot on the
Crabtree's
match,
over the
Cam
line. He
Crabtree.
beats Johann Brouwer by 4 legs to 2, and a celebration there from Shazam. He gets over the line in the end. Got off to a quick start, and he really is pumped up for the evening, isn't he? The man from Croydon, 4-2, the margin of victory there. A couple of ton-plus outs in the process, and that's what we've come to expect of a man who has made it through to a Champions Night in the past. Another man who has been a perennial player at Champions Week is Andy Bolton. He heads to the Oki, one of the favourites to win the week, up against Keelan Kay after this short break. Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth, to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Cam Crabtree got the better of Johann Brouwer by 4-2. Real good performance from Crabtree. 93.9 average, 40% on the doubles. A couple of ton plus outs starting and ending the game with ton plus outs, a 120 and a ton in there. And also, there's double 12 for 144. But this is the man that's been clamming a lot of headlines going into tonight. Andy Bolton, the Ardrosian, 51 years of age. Made it through to the World Championship last 16. He's 2-1 favourite, joint favourite in this group, up against Keelan Kay, the Lord of the Board, who's already been in the winners' enclosure this evening, beating Joe Murnan by 4-1 in the opening match of our Thursday night's worth of tungsten tussles. But Andy Bolton's been the man that everybody's been talking about from the beginning of this week. It is about time to see the X Factor face the tungsten.
Game on.
Is it any wonder that we expect from Andy a certain level? Because if you think about his
99.
challenge to a season, he is playing to type and playing very, very well indeed. He's won twice on the challenge tour this year.
140.
It's already his best challenge tour season. It's not even halfway through yet. But he's averaging 90.03.
93.
What do we say about Andy? He's going to average 90, and he'll probably have somewhere between 36 and 40% in his doubles. He's just so dependable.
100.
Those his challenge tour numbers. His numbers altogether for the last 12 months are pretty similar. 89.61, 39% on the doubles. But maybe Andy Bolton is the definition of what is the difference
99.
between this level and the level above. Because he played in the last 4 Pro Tour events. He lost in the first round of every single one of them. His averages in defeat, 91.56, 94.69, 85.05, 90.05. In this format, we'd say they're good numbers, but for the level above, he's been found
100.
wanting.
Killing car 121.
I've got a really interesting point to make in the next leg. As Keelan goes for the bullseye.
79.
That dart
Andy
must
O'Connor,
not be
110.
replicated here tonight and tomorrow. Watch out. Double 16.
94.
Excellent attempt.
Killing car 42.
Keelan's had one for the leg after a brilliant scoring performance here in leg 1.
22.
But he can't
Andy
find the
O'Connor,
target to
16.
keep Andy at bay.
And so back to double 8, and you don't expect to miss. One left.
No score.
Well, that is a rare sight. Andy
Keelan
Bolton
O'Connor,
missing
20.
3 in hand and a double, but all 3 were grazed to that wire.
One left for Keelan. And he does
Game
find that
shot on the
one.
First leg, Keelan Kay.
That's an opening break of throw. But my point is
Second leg,
this.
Keelan to throw first. Game on.
There's been a lot of chatter this week about how darts is almost everywhere at the minute. We've got
25.
darts here every week, which we love. We've got darts on different tours around Europe and the world. But my point is this.
58.
There are lots of players on these different tours who call themselves professional. What is the definition of a professional dart player?
85.
And if you want someone to almost show you the definition of being a pro at this level,
100.
Andy Bolton's your guy. Because he travels around different tours and he applies his trade with us on the Challenge Tour
140.
and all these different independent things that he does in Scotland. And he's done it for a long time. There are players out there who say they are
140.
professional when I'm not sure that's the case.
Well, let me give you the Sport England definition, or the UK sport definition
45.
for a professional athlete. It is someone who derives an income via sport. An income. Doesn't have to be the income, an income.
But that means that someone who
43.
plays an Open once a year could be classed as a pro because they could win 100 quid.
And this is why there was such a grey area during COVID times
100.
regarding the
And you
status
count
of professional and
160.
otherwise amateur sport. We'll devour that in the next leg. Bolton looking to devour the 160. Another one of them. Leads himself tops.
120.
Doesn't go. But,
Keelan Kay,
but Bolton
160.
misses and Key's got to take.
That's not the right word, but 106 is an anagram of 160. It's double 18.
70.
He's pushed that wire as
And
well.
you count 40.
That was almost 2-0. Can't miss this one.
30.
He's
Keelan,
handing
you
leg
count
2 to
36.
Keelan as well. He's got every right to scratch his noggin.
Well, he's missed 9 darts that are double in this match. But double 9 would have been to
18.
have given Keelan Kay a
And you
2-0
count
lead.
10.
And you sense that there are opportunities he can ill afford to allow to pass by.
See, this is the sign of a pro. Taking a timeout when things aren't going ideally. Just take an extra breath.
No score.
But he hasn't put it right.
Keelan, you count 18.
In the shortest format group, every situation is magnified. Can he hit the marker on the other side? He didn't need it this
Game
time.
time
It
of
is
the second
2-0
leg. Keelan
eventually.
Kay.
And weirdly, Keelan Kay
Well,
has
I got
already
you for
had
first.
2 more
Game
darts
on.
at a double in this match than he needed when he beat Joe Murnan.
Hasn't had to play vintage stuff, but he's doing what he
83.
needs to do. And if he can win this match against Andy, I'd say by game 3 on this evening session, he has done the job that he needed to do
100.
because I thought for Keelan he needed to pick up a couple of wins on night 1.
Back to the professional status thing. You can be a pro dart player
58.
if you're not on the PDC circuit, because there are professional dart players who apply their trade in the WDF and other tours.
45.
However, my thought is this. If you wake up in the morning and you don't get up
140.
with practicing and playing darts and making money that way in mind, you can't call yourself a pro.
140.
If you get up, go to work, and you think, well, I'm going to play darts tonight after work, you're not a pro. You're someone who works and plays darts. But if you're Andy Bolton or if you're Cam
60.
Crabtree, you wake up in the morning and you think, what is my plan today to get better as a darts player? That's a pro. Someone who earns, pays taxes because of their income, and they get invited to places like this
95. Under your count,
because
160.
they're excellent professionals.
Well, Bolton scared the 160 by hitting tops last time, but he's not going to scare it here. And if Kay can find this 1-2-1 and have a
100.
double break of throw
Keelan Kay,
in suit,
121.
he'd be 3-0 to the goods and will leave Bolton really wondering where he is in this match.
57.
And he needs
Under
to
your
get a
count,
grasp of a
60.
double. Because if he doesn't, he's playing this game in Keelan Kay's wheelhouse. Needs it,
40.
but can't get it.
Keelan, your count, 64.
It's like he's looking for that elusive last comic book for his collection. He needs it, but he can't find it. Double top for Keelan.
Game shot on the
And
third
that's gonna
leg.
sting.
Keelan Kay.
That's a double break now, and both breaks of throw have come in 18 darts.
Fourth leg, Keelan to throw first. Game
We've
on.
spoken a lot about Andy and his mishaps on the double, but I feel like we've got to talk a lot about the maturity of Keelan in this scenario.
140.
It hasn't been easy the last 18 months, 2 years on the hockey for him. But what we are seeing is a real level of maturity tonight. It hasn't been his best, but he's doing what he has to do.
I think Keelan's always shown maturity. When he played for England, when he plays for himself.
140.
I think when he was shouldering the pressure as the best player in England
100.
before Littler came along, he was doing it alongside some very good talents. But he was the main man. in that youth team.
182.
I think that experience has allowed him to grow and mature at a faster rate.
95.
Well, Andy has finally found his best score, but has not hit a double from 14 attempts in this match, and that is why
96.
he could possibly lose this 4-0 if he's not careful.
Well, nobody, and I mean nobody with the greatest of respect, would have envisaged the way that this match has gone.
83.
I'm talking about the
Andy O'Connor,
scoreline, but the
85.
way that we've got to this particular point. Bolton, to pull one back here, has missed the big number. And so Keelan Kay
45.
now
Keelan O'Connor,
steps
83.
foot to the hockey, wanting 83 for a 4-0 win against the group favourite.
52.
He was on the walk there.
Andy O'Connor, 40.
That dart was not thrown from the best position. Double top. Can he find double 10?
Getting shot on the fourth flag.
He's
Andy
got
Bolton.
one. And a somewhat ironic celebration from X Factor. That was almost the Y
Fifth flag
factor.
Andy to throw first. Game on.
What it does perhaps suggest the multitude of missed doubles, 16 of them in this game so far, is perhaps
59.
a suggestion, particularly trim with the score in power pack so far, that the radar at this present moment in time is just a little bit off.
60.
Look at him in the background, geeing himself up.
Oh, he knows that you can still win from 3-0 down. If someone is susceptible. It's not as if Keelan
58.
has averaged 95 to 105 in this match. He's playing at a beatable rate. Just got to remain a little bit patient and don't get too upset with yourself. You've got to draw
59.
on recent experiences where you may have been in this situation before. Now, let's face facts. For a man who on 16th of March this year won 16 games in a day
97.
to win 2 Challenge Tour events back-to-back, don't tell me he's not ready for this. Of those 16 games,
60.
I'm sure he had his back against the wall at least 2 or 3 times.
$140.
I'm just looking through those games, actually, because I'm curious as to how many times he was taken to the very
85.
end. In
Andy
fact, the
O'Connor,
last
47.
2 games against Kevin Burness and Jamie Atkins, they're the only 2 games of the 16 where he went to the very last leg. Incredible stuff.
60.
Well, he's going to leave himself an 87 to bring it back to 3-2. And Keelan may have to press the emergency hold now button in the next.
45.
You've got to get
Andy
me one of
O'Connor,
those.
87.
Could have used one of those a few times in my career. It's not going to be the bullseye, and it's not going to be a shot at double at this visit either. That leaves 66. He's got options here. Treble 14, bull, treble 10, potentially.
46.
One of the reasons people use that route is because it gives them further options.
41.
And because
O'Connor,
Andy has
41.
missed most darts at double in this match, he might revert to something favourable. Like
Getting shot
that.
on the fifth leg. Andy Bolton.
This game is not over by any means.
6 leg.
Well,
Keelan
this
to
is
throw
the leg
first.
for Keelan.
Game
This
on.
is the leg in which he has the darts in to get this job done. Because you get the sense that this goes to a decider. Bolton holds all the cards. But as far as the start goes, it
177.
doesn't get much more perfect than that.
And he won't let go.
140.
The pressure must be constant from Keelan. He's got to be really wary of this third dart watch.
100.
He's leaning over as he throws that shot, which means the shoulder drops by about 1 centimetre. And in throwing mechanics,
96.
a centimetre is a country mile. Got to stay in position for dart 3. Do not walk on it. Otherwise, you're going to spray it somewhere.
100.
See him moving there, Henry. Moving forward, Michael Smith style. I know he's qualified for the O2 Premier League playoffs tonight, but it's something that he has had a fault with for years.
98.
However, Keelan has got
124.
real kahunas here. He needed to hold, and look what he's done after 9 and leaving 124.
The bullseye.
90.
Well, as you mentioned
Andy
there,
O'Connor,
the walk
167.
on the last start did not help. But he's going to come back for double 17.
100.
If he so wishes.
Keelan Kay, 34.
Straight
Game
for,
shot
straight
on the match,
in.
Keelan
It's a
Kay.
win for Keelan Kay. And the lord of the board is the man at the top of the table, having won each of his first 2 games. He has beaten Andy Bolton by 4 legs to 2. He's up and running, and he is happy with proceedings so far. You sense that a couple of wins this evening was what he needed to do, and he's got that by the end of game 3. But what's game 4 going to bring us? Well, we're going to see the return of Joe Murnan to the stage, and he takes on Cam Crabtree.
Hang on a minute. Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already. Itching to hit the 180. He's gone for the maximum.
$18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first out from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Skate. Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable.
Get match darts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Number 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
No Bosch.
Pie face is through. He gets
And he's
there.
absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that pie face dominated throughout.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Keelan Kay made it 2 wins from 2, getting the better of Andy Bolton by 4 legs to 2. And so next up for us, we are going to watch Cam Crabtree and Joe Murnan joust it out in this gladiatorial arena that is the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And as far as the opening duels for this pair this evening are concerned, well, Joe Murnan lost out 4-1 to Keelan Kay in match 1 wise. Cam has put in the performance of the night. He has sent the statement down for the rest of the field to follow.
First
A
leg, Jody,
93.9 average and a 4-2 win against Johann Brouwer. A couple of ton-plus finishes in there as well. The group favourite, playing like the group favourite. As for Murnan, conspicuous start to the
40.
evening's proceedings.
I would classify Cam's start as brilliant. Every single part of that opening
100.
performance was impressive. Great average. Very decent doubling. A ton-plus checkout.
96.
And the kind of performance that will do massive damage this week. There's only one player
85.
who has averaged more than 93.9 this week, and that is Ron Meulenkamp, and he did that on Monday. That seems like an infinity
99.
ago, because a lot has happened since then. But if Crabtree is going to be the player in this group,
58.
replicating that first performance is just the ticket. Oh, this is great from Joe.
133.
Interesting. He's gone for the old half the score. And more 19s could be coming if he goes the
30. Joe
Rusty
Carr,
Jake route of
133.
57, 38, 38. But he doesn't.
That's been Joe's problem, hasn't it? Too many strayers.
22.
And from 133, he's only left himself on 111, and it's left him vulnerable to a Crabtree counter-attack.
85. Joe Carr, 111.
Which doesn't come. He'd expect a couple of visits from here, but he'd like to make certain right here, right now, if he can pin the tops.
Game
Yes,
shot
he
on the first
can.
leg,
Aye,
Joe
aye,
Murnan.
aye. Murnan on the board with a 111.
Second leg come to throw first.
That would
Game
cheer
on.
anybody up, that shot. Really well hit by Joe. When he plays in an environment
59.
with a walk-on song, Joe Murnan has Cotton Eye Joe as his walk-on song. I suppose it's pretty good,
140.
if you like that sort of thing. I would have gone with Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. Much better. But if we were going to have a walk-on song for this
140.
match, you could change the lyrics a little bit and call it Strawberry Blondes Forever.
85.
Well, the good news is, if you don't actually know the name of the song, you can just have a look at the website on the back of Cam's shirt.
44.
I see what you mean.
43.
I see that stooping that Cam has always done before he throws his first dart.
60.
Everybody, no matter who you are in darts, as a player, you have something you do that is a hook, an anchor, something that you use to calibrate yourself. When Cam comes to the oche, he
81.
does this. Into the oche, stoop, and into position. He has something very similar to Michael van Gerwen, where he places a lot
100.
of weight
Joe
into his
Carr,
right hip.
152.
And then he plants all of the weight on the right leg downwards to keep him stable.
44.
He throws from a
Cameron
very
Carr,
low
98.
position initially, but then he grows taller and very stable after that.
Game shot on the second
There's
leg.
nothing
Cam
wrong with that
Crabtree.
whatsoever, as he equalises at 1-1.
Maybe a little bit
like
like
Joe
this
is for the
match for
first.
Cam,
Game on.
stooping low at the start and maybe growing from there on fourth.
135.
Well, we did say that one of Joe Murnan's previous nicknames was Midnight Murnan, and maybe like a wildebeest, he just awakens as we get towards the midnight tower. But Crabtree firing in his first max of the match, his first of the night.
I like that nickname, by the way. He hasn't stuck with it.
140.
I think it was more to do with local darts up in the northwest. They called him that as an affectionate nickname, and he took it on for a little bit of time, but it didn't stick. He wanted Shaggy.
99.
However, there's way too many of those.
Suppose quite literally wasn't me then.
Well,
43.
Shaggy is Scott Williams now, isn't it?
Yes.
And you've got Joe Murnan as Shaggy as well. I'm sure there's another one out there.
100.
Surely in this day and age, with the amount of languages there are and the amount of ideas that there are,
140. Cameron Carr,
people can have
122.
one nickname that isn't shared with somebody else.
The bullseye. Well, the
He's
ton
on
plus
the
finishes
leg.
are being
Cam
shared
Crabtree.
around, and that's Cam's third of the evening already. The 111 joins the 120 in the ton on the nose. And he had a 98 in the previous leg. He leads 2-1. And Crabtree is on point. Murnan has got work to do.
58.
Yeah, this is really good from Cam. Looks like he's in a pretty good space. Let's face it, he has been the last couple of years.
100.
There can't have been many weeks where he hasn't played. But can you remember a time, Henry, when he's come here and he hasn't
60.
looked fresh? The benefit of youth.
Well, he's one of those players that, as we mentioned in game one, he does all the right things. He tailors his practice routines to the relevant tournaments and events that he is due or scheduled to play in. Everything's about being ready for when it matters, being ready for the big moments, the big games, which is why maybe we see the peak of his powers in the most important
100.
moments. And he's a player that also, for such a young age, has had his own set of trials and tribulations. The end of last year and the beginning of this year
140.
wasn't a fruitful time. He, alongside Owen Bates, was in that race for a tour card spot. Actually held second position going into the last day of last season. He missed out to his best mate.
83.
And then didn't get a tour card at Q School when the pressure was on. Well, this would be for 4th ton plus out of the night. Okay, this is getting ridiculous now.
87. Joe Car 81.
Not ridiculous enough. It's not quite midnight yet. We've got about an hour to go, but Murnan needs the bolt.
56. Camera Car 16.
For 3-1, Crabtree could be sailing towards 4 points, just like Keelan Kay.
No score. Joe Car 25.
He hasn't found what he's looking for. Can Murnan find what he wants?
When you say he still hasn't found what he's looking for, and this game could be 2-2.
17.
But it doesn't
Camera
go for
Car
Midnight
16.
Murnan, and Crabtree's going to come back at the 2-8s.
Should get it this time with that marker. How has he not hit that?
No score. Joe Car 8.
That's outrageous. That's only possible if you throw darts the way that Cam's got them, tapered towards the end. That wouldn't have happened to Joe.
4.
But he can't find that shot, and it's happening again on the doubles for Murnan.
Well, that look up to the skies was an acceptance of the fact that when you give someone like Cam this many opportunities, don't expect to come back. Well,
No
basically,
score.
he needs
Joe
to only have
Car
one
4.
dart out on the back of a ton plus combination for it to go.
There are times when that happens in a leg where you're better off going for a single 8 and changing the target. Because if you drag it a little bit left, you might hit it. It's the old Gezi Price trick. Drop the dart, retrieve it, and hit it.
Game shot on the 4th leg. Joe Murnan.
There you go. Are you not entertained?
5th leg Jody through first. Game on.
Are you not entertained?
No, he doesn't look entertained one bit, does he?
Yeah, I don't think Cam's too happy about that leg at all. Do you know what was really famous about that scene?
57.
When Maximus Decimus Meridius was in North Africa. In the film, what was not picked up by Ridley Scott, the director, is that when that was happening, a plane was flying overhead. Yeah, they didn't have planes back then.
Yeah, I remember my history teacher telling me that. I'm not even joking.
Get out,
100.
honestly.
Year 7 history, 2012. I remember it.
I don't know what's
69.
worse, the fact that you're referencing the film Gladiator with history. Or the fact that I now feel as
60.
old as my grandfather. Give it time. Before the end of the night, I'm going to say the words, in my day.
95.
Just think about how Cam is feeling right now, though. He was cruising
100. Joe
to
Car,
3-1
100.
up. If Murnan hits this, he's 3-2 down.
But again, it's another one of the wide darts for Murnan.
44.
To be
Camera
honest,
car, 116.
you'd expect this to go more than 3 darts in hand at 8-8. But it's not going to go. And Murnan has got an opportunity
100.
to move 3-2
Joe
in
Car,
front.
56.
And Crabtree's left old nemesis.
Might not get a look, though. Let's see what he
16.
does on it this time.
Camera car, 16.
This could be redemption.
No score.
It's happened
Joe
again.
Car, 40.
And that was for a break of throw as well. 8 may cost him the points.
Game show
Well,
on the fifth
8-8
leg.
is
Joe
becoming
Murnan.
old nemesis for Crabtree. But Murnan with the tops leads 3-2. And he's a leg
Sixth
away
leg
from the
comes
win.
through
And
first. Game on.
if that's the case, well, we could have a league table which will look a little bit different to maybe what a lot of people would have expected at the beginning of the evening.
100.
Am I the only person who's thinking that the next game could be rather feisty? Brouwer against Bolton, especially after what happened to Andy in his first match.
55.
I implore everybody watching, do not go to bed
100.
or anything else. You need to watch Game 5. There are many possibilities in that match.
96.
You know that popcorn you bought earlier? Are we allowed to get it out for that next match?
You can have it. I don't like popcorn.
140.
Bit weird as to why you bought it then, Nico.
I bought it for everybody else.
100. Camera car,
Well, Crabtree's got
161.
6 here from 161 to take us the distance. Not to be on this occasion. It's all about leaving it as
55.
handy as he possibly can now. And he still leaves it in 3 dart range. And so Murnan could have been in a position to capitalise. He's had openings in this game as Murnan.
41.
And
Camera
although he's
car,
3-2 up,
106.
he could have got the job done sooner.
He's had 13 darts at a double. Cam's had 16. Good recovery.
66.
But it's not 8 he's missed this time, it's tops. At least this time, he's got a different target when he comes back.
57.
I've got to say, I'm
Camera
glad
car,
this isn't being
40.
played over double in, double out format tonight. Otherwise, we'd be here till the wee hours of tomorrow. Double 10. 2 5s.
35.
Strays
Joe Car,
inside.
152.
And has Murnan got a big finish in him?
Not this time. But when you've been missing darts at double,
96.
like they've
Camera
been
car,
going out of
5.
fashion, this is not the kind of checkout that you want. He just wants to hit it any which way,
1.
and he hasn't.
Joe Car, 56.
That is now 20 missed darts at double in this game alone.
He's got his ducks in a row in terms of the finishing, but it looks like it's going to be Murnan that's going to pick
Game
the
shot on
points
the
up
match, Joe Murnan.
with a 4-2 win over Cam Crabtree. A look of bemusement on his face. As for Murnan, well, he's got over the line. In the end, it was a real struggle, really, for the pair in that particular contest. Both players had a ton plus checkout, but other than that, the doubling really deserted the two. But it's Murnan who held his nerve to win by 4 legs to 2. But coming up next, this should be a little bit fun as Johann Brouwer takes on Andy Bolton. Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth, where before the break, Joe Murnan got the better of Cam Crabtree by 4 legs to 2. A game that was marred by missed doubles from the pair. In matter of fact, between both players in that particular contest, there were 30 missed darts at the outer ring. However, we digress and move into our 5th match of the day, where both Bolton and Brouwer are looking to pick up their first win of the group. Andy Bolton losing out 4-2 to Keelan Kay in his first match. Brouwer on the receiving end of a 4-2 scoreline. He lost out to Cam Crabtree. However, the performance of Brouwer was a lot to at least feel optimistic about. 88.62 was his average. Bolton in match 1, 83.45, but missed 16 darts and a double in that particular match.
Game on.
But I just wonder whether this is going to be a game as entertaining to the side of the stage as the actual action on the hockey is going to be.
Yeah, we can speculate as to how this game could possibly go.
60.
But this is a stiff test for Johann for 2 reasons. One, he's playing a very good player. Secondly, he's playing a player that is wounded.
60.
When someone as seasoned as Andy has suffered defeat in his first game, that will put his back against the wall, and he's the kind of person
60.
who will say, right, okay, we don't like that. Now we put it right. So I'll be fascinated to see the dynamic of this game, about 2 or 3 legs in.
Well, obviously, we haven't been in the practice room between games, but I can make a cast iron guarantee. Ever since Andy lost that game to Keelan Kay, he would have been straight on that practice board and he wouldn't have left it.
I would assume that that would be the case. There is a fairly visible snarl coming from the face of X Factor. And he does not want to go into his game with Cam Crabtree in Game 8, having suffered 2 defeats.
100.
His record in making Saturday nights is impeccable. He does not want that to stop here this week.
60. Johann, your car, 101.
But it's Johann who's first to finish here. 101 is what he wants as Bolton in the background limbers up. But Brouwer looking to limber up for a ton plus out, and he finds the 101 to lead 1-0. Subdued in his celebration up until he gets to the drinks table.
First. Game on.
We were talking in Group A, Henry, that he is fairly decent pals with Ron Meulenkamp. Now, Meulenkamp is
59.
the kind of player that knows how a lot of people behave when they play darts. You need to know how to play the player as well as how to play the game. I wouldn't be shocked to know that Ron has had a little word with Johann, as if to say, this is how you play Andy. No screaming, no grunting, no nothing like that. You play him straight up and you don't give him any fuel.
81.
Because it seems to me that's exactly what he's doing.
Andy's one of those players you play with the utmost respect, because if you
121.
don't do that, you will get swallowed up.
We've had a question in our live chat, and everybody who is joining us tonight, or wherever you are in the world, it might be afternoon or morning.
60.
Thank you very much for your company. But David has asked, who would you consider to be the most intelligent dart player? What do you think, Henry?
91.
Alex Spellman's high up there because of what he does for a job. He does a lot of computing and
50.
the mining or whatever you call it.
130.
Yeah, he's a software engineer, isn't he?
Coding, isn't it? That's what he does.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go toe-to-toe with him on that. He knows everything and I know nothing. So, as far as the Modus Super Series is concerned, that is one of the best answers we can offer.
145. Undercar 32.
As for overall, that's an interesting one. Just like this shot. Just trying to figure out just why those 2 darts were so different. He's got a very interested spectator in the background as well. But the spectator won't like that one. I love the way that Andy thought that one out. Bad first dart, suspect second, very good third. So, intelligence on the Pro Tour, and we're not going to make jokes about this. This is a good question. John Part is very, very intelligent. Keegan Brown is very smart.
60.
We're talking about someone who has worked in the National Health Service and is very well tuned into
59.
politics and things like that. It depends on the subject, but overall, I'd probably have to go with John. There are some people who are more intelligent about certain subjects. I would not want to go head-to-head on sport with Mark Webster. His brain is like a sponge.
100.
But who's going to have the darting brain matter in this particular
100.
contest? Because it feels like this game is at a bit of a stalemate point. It's like two players at the minute are in the tungsten version of no man's land in this match.
57.
Well, someone's got to make a move. And it may just be Bolton because he's got the darts here. And it is against the throw.
60.
But he hasn't utilised that situation to the best of its ability. Interesting mannerisms here from Johann. He's been showing those a lot. Well, this is the mannerism Olympics right here, isn't it?
If you wanted a game where two players are going to play their cards very close to their chest, then you're
100.
watching the completely wrong match.
41.
That's a great first start. Double 12.
129.
That is a brilliant effort. I thought he was going to hit that. Those first two darts were so good. But he's praying that Johann doesn't hit this, which he's not going to now. And Bolton's got to be clean
52.
on these shots.
12.
Visit perfect is always going to be enough.
Game shot on the third
That's
leg.
better than
Andy
visit
Bolton.
perfect. It's just perfect.
2-1 Bolton.
Fourth leg Andy to throw first. Game on.
And look at the snarl, the bit between his teeth. He knows now that he's got his jaws snuck into the match. Can he now tear away at Johann Brouwer?
53.
Yeah, I think you've got to play darts like a snapping turtle. Once you get your mouth around your prey, you just don't let go.
41.
Johann bitten off more than he can chew in this contest.
And one of the motivations for Andy this
59.
week is more prize money. Your tan needs a bit of topping up, Andy. There's no way he got that tan in Scotland. It's always been
100.
somewhat Steve Beaton-like in the fact that he's always looking glistening. In fact, one of the times that he's won a week here, he went straight on a cruise after and then returned pretty much straight after because it was Champions Week.
44.
He's a man who lives a very enjoyable lifestyle, is Andy Bolton.
As we all should.
It's his second go at
85.
Series 7. He played in week 2, and this was a real heavyweight week. In matter of fact, in this week, you had 3 players in the top 10 of the Challenge Tour Order of Merit. It was won by
140.
Heenahan. Bolton came 1-0 up. Carlo Van Peer, Justin Smith, the semi-finalist. Danny Janssen, who is top of that Order of Merit. And Darren Armstrong, the quarter-finalist. Mike Norton, Lee Cox,
79.
Derek Coulson, Jack Mell, Louis Williams, and Alex Small were the 6 players who didn't make it through. That was a high-quality week of tungsten action.
129.
Seems like a long time ago now. It just goes to show how long you sometimes have to wait for your first weekly success.
41. Andy
When
McCarr,
Conor
76.
Heenahan won that week, he'd waited ages. Perseverance is a very good quality in a dart
36.
player.
Johann McCarr, 155.
So 155 for Brouwer to level up at 2 apiece. This is going to go, and so Bolton now tots a 3-1 lead, and you get the sense from there on in he is really going to dominate proceedings. However, it is going to be under huge pressure. He's been visit perfect pretty much in this match. Double 10. Up for 5s. Doesn't
30.
go, and so Brouwer's
Johann
back for double 8 to
16.
square this contest up at 2 apiece. He smiles as he walks back down the yoke, knowing that that is more key chances come and gone.
Golden chances on a silver platter.
Game shown on the
Gobbled.
fourth leg, Johann Brouwer.
He knows he shouldn't have had that shot.
Fifth leg, Johann did through first.
And he
Game
knows
on.
it too. Another question from our chat. Intelligence is one thing, but which darts player can eat the most crisps? Well, that doesn't even need any thinking about because it's Pete Burgoyne.
95.
End of discussion. I'd love to give him a run for his money, though.
Why, are you hungry?
No, I'm just a
81.
big fan of crisps.
Favourite type of crisps whilst we're on the subject?
The correct answer
60.
is discos.
$100.
But I'm partial to most of them. Anything that's crinkle cut and really thick. Anything that is somewhat wavy in a
81.
tube, I'm very partial to those.
Oh, yes.
But-
Salt and vinegar Pringles.
But if I had one day left on Earth, it would be
78.
a haystack size amount of discos. Then he can take me.
Well, we know what his Paul Nicholson's last meal on death row is going to be now.
105.
That would just be the starter. This is game 5 of the night. And at the end of this match,
59.
25%
Johann
of this group is
160.
completed already. Andy has played in many a long week here. This is not a long week for him. He doesn't want to see this double top hit. Johann did,
120.
but he is coming back.
It's almost been one of those games where the other person's waiting for the other guy to almost get started. You
90.
know, we talk about
Johann
who
Carl
blinks first
40.
in games. It's almost been the complete and utter opposite of it. They're
Game
waiting for the
shown on
other
the
to get
fifth leg,
going,
Johann
but
Brouwer.
Brewer's moved into a 3-2 lead, and he's now one away from the match, and Bolton's going to have to
Sixth
hold
leg,
through
Andy
to
did
save the
through first.
match.
Game on.
We said earlier when Brouwer was playing against Crabtree that he's a good finisher. His weekly numbers stated 36% for the first 3 days.
59.
For tonight, he is 5 from 8. That's better than good.
78.
And he wants this win. And if he gets it, one of the favourites for this group
140.
in Andy Bolton will be bottom after 5 matches played. Under no circumstances did I even consider that a possibility
97.
before the start of the night.
However, has Johann just pressed that button there, because he celebrated a couple of visits ago, and it looks like it is
92.
just reeled up Andy Bolton a little bit.
It's not a situation that is out of the question for X Factor. It's 2 straight legs.
59.
How many times in his career has he done that? At every level. European Tour, World Championship, BDO and PDC.
55.
He's done it easily 20,000 times. So he will not panic.
60. Andy O'Carr 155.
And he's going to get 6 from here to get the first of those 2 legs.
59.
He's himself on a 2-darter. He hopes he doesn't see a 2-triple turn from Johann here.
Well, there's one of them. And there's the second.
140 and Johann 96.
Biggest shot of his night so far. Needs to be good.
56.
What an opportunity this is for Brouwer. To put Andy in the basement of the table after game 5.
Well, Andy Bolton now is living in the land of hope, and his hopes may have just been answered because Johann has just missed the big number, and he may have just missed a big opportunity. Okay, he's going to have the throw in the last leg if Bolton pins his tops, but that was his chance. And Bolton makes no mistake. And now Brouwer's got to pick himself up from the proverbial canvas to try and find a way of winning this last leg decider, the first of the night.
If you miss big numbers like that, you can stop yourself from getting match opportunities.
140.
And even if he did get a pep talk from someone with a bit more experience than him, Johann just can't deny himself that little bit of extra pepper on the steak.
180.
His 140 start has been beaten.
60.
And now it could be advantage Bolton. This could change the entire group this leg. It really could. Because if Bolton gets out of this jam,
100.
He will believe there's no situation he can't rectify.
You mentioned get out of jail free card. You get the sense that if he wins this game, he will take those 2 points and run. And sometimes you just need to be scared like that. Get over the line, and then sometimes he could bring the best out there after.
And Johann's position, it's not up to him. Bolton's got 6 from here.
100.
He desperately wanted the 140 to leave 81. How good can this be? Can he leave 66?
94.
No, but it's something very similar.
21.
May just be a dart of the bull. He's hoping it's a dart at the bull. But he's not going to get there. And so Johann's now going to get another opportunity. And this time, he has to ensure he gets that match-winning double chance.
Absolutely right. Just don't make a mistake on 2 singles. Which route does he want? Another single for double top for the match.
And Andy Bolton, the bookmakers' joint favourite to win Group B, has lost his first 2 matches. Johann Brouwer, well, he is in the mix. He is into a real good position. He's on to 2 points, and he lets us know all about it. He has beaten Andy Bolton by 4 legs to 3. 4 from 6 on the doubles for Bolton. Well, the doubles have deserted him so far this evening. Well, we've reached the halfway point of our evening's action. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to analyse everything that we've seen in the studio. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. We've reached the halfway point on our Thursday night's worth of action here at the live lounge in Portsmouth. Myself and Paul Nicholson have been watching every single dart in the commentary box. This is what we've seen so far this evening from our opening 5 matches. It's been a real intriguing affair where the favourites have not had it their own way altogether. As a matter of fact, Andy Bolton is yet to get a win to his name, but it's been okay as far as Keelan Kay is concerned. 2 wins from 2 for the man from Plymouth, and he is now the man to beat.
Let's just take the form book and shred it. It's as simple as that. I thought Andy would get at least 1 win in his first 2 matches. It hasn't worked out. And now his next 2 opponents have got a really big problem because he will not walk out of this building tonight without points. That's the mentality he's going to have. And his next 2 opponents have got a real problem with that. But I've been impressed with the way Keelan has conducted himself. His level at the high 70s, it's good enough right now, but is it enough to sustain a total that's going to get him to his first Saturday night? I think he's going to have to find a little bit more.
Well, let's talk about Keelan in a lot more detail. What has he done so right this evening that stood himself out in matches?
He's given himself enough chances to win legs, and he's caught a couple of opponents a little cold. I think his level of play has been good enough to win those 2 games, but if that is replicated over the next 6 matches, he could find himself in a dogfight for that 3rd spot. So ride the wave of confidence, and whatever he's doing right, replicate, and the things he's doing wrong, just try and get them right.
Is there a little bit of an issue that he may feel like it's job done already?
No, I don't think so. I think when you've been here many times and you haven't made Saturday, I think certain situations, you just say to yourself, unless I've got 8, 10 points or even 12, I haven't got the job done yet. And I think once bitten, twice bitten, thrice bitten, always going to be shy. So until the job is done and someone says, come back tomorrow on Saturday, he's not going to let slip anything.
Well, outside of Keelan, who's picked up 2 wins and 2, a number of players have 1 win and 1 defeat, and one of them being one of the favourites, Cam Crabtree. He got out the gate so well, and we thought maybe this is the beginning of what's to come, but those missed doubles in that last match would be a bit of a concern. Yeah,
just a bit. I think he's going to take 8 outside and have a very stiff word with it. Missed it so many times in that match he had with Murnan, but he'll just be flabbergasted that he had so many shots on the wire. But that's darts, isn't it? Sometimes you're going to have games that you have so many shots at a double like double A and not find it. But you've got to be able to move on. This is a format of multiple games in a night or a day. And you're going to have games that are going to be very different to others, and they're going to stick out in a negative way. You've got to put them to bed.
You mentioned at the beginning of the night, Johann needed to improve on his doubling to stand a chance. Credit goes where credit's due. He's done exactly that.
Hasn't he just? He's been superb in that department. Maybe the scoring element is improving too. He's jumping from around about an 82 average for the week up towards 85, 86 now. That's a decent, sustainable improvement. He's found some really key, good shots tonight against some decent opponents. And we might not be underestimating him for the rest of this group based on what we've seen so far.
Well, let's have a look at the table then at the midway point of tonight's proceedings, because it is Keelan Kay who leads the way, the only player with 2 wins from 2, the only player with an unbeaten record now in the group. Crabtree, Brouwer and Murnan on 2. Bolton without a win to his name. So that's how things look at the halfway point of tonight's action. However, we're going to be looking ahead to Champions Week next week, and it should be quite the blockbuster, and there's going to be a new name on the trophy. Yeah, TriStat was won by Luke Littler. And, well, there's going to be a new name on the trophy come next week here at the Live Lounge Reports. These are 11 players that have already rubber-stamped their place through to Champions Week. Player number 12 will be revealed on Saturday evening. Look, everyone's been talking about Bo Greaves from the second she hit that winning dart at double to win week 9. But outside of her, there's a couple of other key players to look out for.
Many, more than a couple. You look at some people who have been so hungry to make Champions Week. Someone like Conor Heenan, for instance. It's a long time since he won his week. Rhys Robinson has had plenty of time to prepare for Champions Week after winning week 1. Andreas Harrison, definitely a threat. And he's not the kind of person that's going to dwell on preparation time because he doesn't practice that much. We've learned this about Andreas this year. He turns up, he just assesses the situation and plays his best. He doesn't spend any mental bandwidth on trying to complicate the sport. However, we are going to talk about Greaves a lot, but there are other people who could potentially win. If they are going to, they're going to need a very high level week-wide. If Greaves comes in with 93 average for the week, she could win it. But someone like Bradley Brooks could stem that tide.
So Greaves is the favourite for the week in your mind?
Yes, I think she has to be based on what she's done in qualifying. She hasn't lost a game here, and she'll fancy it, that's for sure. But everybody else has still got a chance.
Well, it kick-starts Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. here on the Super Series YouTube channel. I wonder who's going to be in the main chair come next Saturday evening. You could be in one of these chairs as well at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth on a Saturday night. Have a look at this.
Every Saturday, we open our doors for our weekly finals night.
For a unique and intimate darts experience.
Meet the Dart Stars and even the team off the telly.
Here at our purpose-built venue in Portsmouth.
Every single Saturday evening.
Tickets can be booked via this QR code.
Or at www.dartshop.tv for a very small booking fee.
Follow us at MSS Darts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
For all the latest ticketing news.
All you need to do, log on, book, turn up, and the action gets underway from 7:30 p.m.
So what are you waiting for?
Get your tickets to the darts.
We look forward to welcoming you to the Modus Super Series very soon.
And I can give you some breaking ticketing news here at the Modus Super Series because Champions Night next Saturday is close to a sellout. So if you want to be here on the perennial night for the Modus Super Series, you're going to have to head over to dartshop.tv and be very quick in obtaining your tickets to our red letter night on the blue South Coast City. Well, next up for us, it is pink and blue that go toe-to-toe on this stage as Keelan Kay takes on Cam Crabtree. They're two players who have their initials the same letter. KK up against CC, but who's going to get the big W in this particular matchup, Paul Nicholson?
First like Keelan to throw first. Game on.
So far tonight, Keelan has got WW. And if he gets another one, the next thing he needs is a dot.
60.
And then you type dart shop, then .tv, and that's where you go to get your tickets for a Champions Night potentially. But be quick, like Henry said.
Well, I'll tell you what you want to do.
122.
Scan this QR code that's about to get onto your screen. There's the QR code. Scan that. It will take you over to dartshop.tv and you can get your tickets for the big night here in Portsmouth next Saturday evening. Put it this way. It's going to be a final,
100.
which will be a bit more competitive than the FA Cup final, which is going to take place on the same day.
It's a bold prediction.
100.
And alternatively, you could buy tickets for every single week of Series 8 by clicking onto that particular website. So you can make it a summer of tungsten fun on the South Coast.
Well, let me put it to you this way. If you're looking to get some Super Series tickets via that QR code right
60.
now, get yourself here for Women's Week night on that Saturday. Where else can you go to see Fallon Sherrick potentially?
41.
Bo Greaves potentially. Trina Gulliver potentially. Dieter Hedman potentially. Because they still got to qualify for the Saturday night. We're talking about some of the most successful female players of all time under the same roof, and you could be that close to them. 142's on for Cam. At least it was.
$110. Keelan Kay 60.
Everything is coming up Keelan if he hits this.
Getting shot on the
Everything
first leg,
is coming up
Kay.
Keelan.
Second leg Cam through first. Game on.
When he woke up this morning or after a nap this afternoon, which is what a lot of dart players do when they play this late, he'd have hoped for a situation pretty close to this, where he has not lost and he's in a very strong situation in his third game.
100.
Now, realistically, when he looks at this field, would he have said to himself, I think I can get 6 points?
81.
Or did he say, I think I can get 8? Every dart player will give you the stock answer. And with all due
54.
respect to Keelan, in his interview with you earlier, there were a lot of stock answers. I don't mind them at all. But what we don't get from
100.
some dart players are honest answers of how they really feel. Do you think Keelan thought he could get 8 points tonight?
45.
Did he think he could get 4 or 6? I'm going to estimate he thought he could get 6.
140.
Well, it's going to have to work hard for these 2 points. Crabtree leaving. Tops after... Oh, my goodness. That's a horrid
37.
Bobbin Hood.
Coming to
That's
car
pierced
40.
into the flight.
That flight is done and dusted.
30.
More missed darts at double, which have infected the head of Shazam. And a new flight comes out. You see, everybody, that's why you take spares up there.
Not quite a Guido-esque pit stop from Kay.
And that's
47.
the daily mention of Cars the
Car
movie.
10.
Is it going to be Shazam? Or is it going to be a bit more kapow?
6.
Not right now. Down for double 2 for Crabtree.
It's getting to the stage now for Cam that he's getting to a state that I can't see
190.
on television.
Car 4.
He's getting angry at how many darts he's missing at double.
No score. Keelan Kay 99.
More than angry.
Well, I called him a pink beast earlier on this evening, where he's turning green like the Incredible Hulk right now, such as his states of anger over missed doubles. But he's going to come back
34.
for more.
Coming to car 4.
He's better off a double 2 than double 1.
Game shot on the second leg.
He's
Cam
won the
Crabtree.
leg in 24 darts, but already
Third leg Keelan to throw first. Game
he has missed 11 darts at double, and it's only the end of leg 2. I don't know what it is about this week. We've seen a lot of players do this in a few matches.
42.
There have been times over the last couple of years where the conditions outside the venue have
43.
stipulated how people play. Particularly in our old studio, which was a lot harder to condition the temperature. Here, it's a lot easier
100.
because we've invested in that. But this is the time of year where I genuinely think people should be playing some of their best stuff.
59.
There's no excuse. It's not the start of the season where they've had 3-4 weeks off, they've gone on holiday, they come back, they're a bit rusty. These are players who have been playing
97.
on various tours for approximately 3 to 4 months. And hopefully with some constructive breaks in there.
140.
If you are a full-time player, notice how I said full-time player instead of professional. If you're a full-time player,
56.
there's no excuse to be playing at the level that some of these guys have been this week. There's been a lot of people
139.
underperforming, if I may be brutally honest.
And if we're going to be even more brutally honest, if they play like this at Champions Week,
100.
they're not going to stand a chance.
120.
Not at all. This is better. Good approach. And just
Game
when he
on
needs
the
something
third
like
leg,
that, he
Cam Crabtree.
replicates what he did in his first game.
Fourth
That
leg
might
comes
just
through
be
first.
the
Game on.
ticket to fixing the doubles problem. That was fabulously mature from Crabtree.
Well, prior to that
100.
120 out, Crabtree was free from his last 34 double attempts.
26.
But incredibly, in the midst of all of that, he's had full-time plus checkouts.
60. $85.
We've had a question in our live chat on YouTube from Corey
59.
about tickets for the Champions Night. What we can tell you that in the last 10 minutes or so, Champions Night
96.
is sold out. So unfortunately, if you have gone to the website to try and get Champions Night tickets, we don't actually have any left. So you can still get tickets for this Saturday night and
55.
for the Women's Week finals. So unfortunately, if you wanted to come to Champions Night,
140.
the opportunity isn't there. It is the most popular night to get tickets, so I suppose we shouldn't be surprised that it's a sellout.
81. Keelan Kay, 154.
So, Keelan Kay, 154 to square this game up at 2 apiece. Both players on a big ton plus out. 154 is going to go. Crabtree can open up a 2-leg buffer if he
Keelan
can
Kay,
pin his second ton
146.
plus out of the night, of this match, sorry, in the 5th of the night. The 146 isn't going to go.
42. Keelan Kay, 124.
One big treble needed, and that's not going to help him.
44.
The
Keelan
last
Kay,
thing Keelan needs
104.
is to relinquish this game by constantly pulling the dart left, which has been something that has plagued his game for years.
88. Keelan Kay, 80.
And if Keelan doesn't hit 80, Cam has a date with destiny with double 8. However,
Game
he
shot
doesn't
on the
get a
fourth
chance.
leg, Keelan Kay. Fifth leg,
What
Keelan
have
to
we
go
been
first.
saying all week? Right off
Game
Keelan
on.
Kay at your peril.
but he wants to go under the radar. That's what he said to you earlier.
Well, tough luck, Keelan. I'm not letting you. The way you're
81.
playing tonight. He's putting himself in the shop window, isn't he?
We've got some good nicknames in
60.
development tour darts these days, haven't we? Lord of the Board, Shazam, King of the Castle.
100.
Has Johann van Veen got a nickname?
No, it's just GVV.
59.
No, that's boring. Come on. Come on, G. It's got to be better than that.
I mean, Bates had an interesting nickname.
82.
He can do better than that, in my opinion. But if you're going to build a brand from a very young age,
81.
maybe look at Cam and understand what he's doing. Colour coordination, he's got a nickname, he's sticking with it, that nobody's had before.
29.
There's a great deal of controversy around Luke Humphrey's change of walk-on song last week. My word. I didn't want to contribute
60.
to that argument after last Thursday in Leeds. I know that Kevin Painter wasn't very happy.
It's a very appropriate nickname for Cam is Shazam. I believe it's more to do with the
100.
video game type than it is the music type, but Cam is the type of player that whenever you see him hover around a practice board, he'll always have ear pods in. He's always listening away to music. So
47.
perhaps Shazam is the
Keelan Kay,
appropriate nickname
109.
for him.
Well, if his music taste is anything like Michael Smith's, he's listening to Whitney Houston.
73.
I wish I was telling fibs. It's genuinely true. Now, Keelan was behind 2-1,
42.
courtesy of a
Keelan Kay,
wonderful
36.
120 checkout. But he might find himself back in front.
$18.
3 darts
Keelan Kay,
left of target.
152.
The 152 isn't going to join the illustrious list of ton plus outs for Crabtree.
63.
And so
Keelan Kay,
Kay comes
18.
back for double 9. He has had some joy on this double this evening. Has more double
Danger on
there.
the fifth
Has
leg, Keelan
more
Kay.
success on that double there. 3-2 Keelan Kay leads.
6 leg.
We've got
Cam
some
to
viewers
throw
in our
first. Game on.
live chat from the Netherlands, including Vim, who is a very big darts fan. And apparently, Johann van Veen doesn't like nicknames.
Who? GVV?
It's not really a nickname, it's just an acronym.
26.
And some people don't like nicknames. They just want to be known by their actual name.
100.
I remember when James Hubbard made his Blackpool debut at the World Match Play, and it was almost forced upon him to have a
140.
nickname, and they gave him Hotshot. Absolutely awful. And even James didn't like
60.
it.
$100.
I don't mind giving my honest opinion about certain things like shirts, nicknames, attire, technique, approach, that kind of
41.
thing. That's what I'm paid to sit here and do. But if I like something, I will shout it from the rooftops.
55.
And the one thing I like about Brand Shazam, coordination.
55.
It's a great chance to win this match for Cam because Keelan is not going for the throat. He's got to switch.
60.
That 60 was almost fully blocked, but maybe the 120 shot is his key to success. He's already hit it twice tonight.
100.
Well, Crabtree wants to do what his beloved Arsenal haven't been able to do this week, and that's finish top of the table. Crabtree looking to be
Game
top of the
shot on
ton
the
plus
sixth
tree,
leg, Cam Crabtree.
and for a third time he has found the Shanghai. You might as well call in Cameron
Seven final
Werner
lad,
because he
Keelan to
keeps
throw first.
timing
Game on.
climbing up ladders.
Did you say that Cam is an Arsenal fan?
Yes.
And you just said Werner,
83.
as in Timo. I don't think he'll appreciate that very much. By the way, to anybody in the chat that
100.
thinks that Johann van Veen is known as the Dutch Giant, get your facts right. The Dutch Giant is Martijn Kleermaker.
45.
Johann van Veen does not have a nickname. Anyway, moving on. Last leg of this contest, Game 6. And this is a
99.
very, very important leg because if Keelan wins it, he goes to 6 points. If Cam wins it, he joins Keelan on 4.
85.
Huge passage in play. This visit could dictate where this leg swings or have a huge say in it.
92.
Okay, so 92 leaves 210. The key to success is score 90 next and leave 120.
122.
Go for bull.
100.
He didn't heed the warning, but he has got a finish for the match.
$98. Keelan Kay, 110.
And now more than ever, he's going to have to take the ton plus out. This would be for free in the same match.
78.
And it's a
Keelan
match
Kay,
he may now
68.
go on to lose.
What did we say about Keelan tonight? Timing. Does timing strike again on double 16?
52.
No is the answer.
Keelan Kay,
And could that
52.
spell the end of Keelan Kay's perfect night so far? Crabtree comes back to the hockey, one in double 16.
No score.
But he cannot get there.
Keelan
He
Kay,
cannot
16.
find a way.
That corner of the board is definitely off his Christmas card list. He cannot believe what has happened.
Well, Cam not happy with the time it took, but Keelan took his time and then got over the line. Gets the better of Cam Crabtree by 4 legs to 3. Obviously not happy about something at the end of that one. Keelan doesn't care. He's moved on to 6 points, and he's the player to catch now at the top of this group. He is 3 from 3 and will have the opportunity against Johann Brouwer to complete the card. An intriguing end to that match, but it's Keelan who wins in a last leg decider. Murnan and Brouwer follows after this.
Hang on a minute. Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's 100 quid down the drain already. Itching to hit the 180. He's gone for the maximum.
For the ball. Ball.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first out from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Scaife.
Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable. Get match darts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Number 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Oh, Bosh.
Pie Face is through.
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie Face dominated throughout.
Well, it hasn't quite been a case of easy now for Keelan Kay, but he's got the results that he's needed so far this evening. 3 wins from 3 for the Lord of the Board, and he is top of the table. He got the better of Cam Crabtree by 4 legs to 3 before the break, a game which had a little bit of a mysterious ending to it, but Keelan picking the points up. Johann Brouwer and Joe Murnan next up to the hockey. These two have gone toe-to-toe in Group A over the last 3 days, and these two well acquainted and well acquitted with one another. And on the basis of play this evening, you would have to fancy the chances of Johann in this matchup.
Looks like Jody through first. Game on.
Extremely fair. I've seen some interesting head-to-head records this week. But it feels as if Group A is so long ago now, after what we saw from Group C earlier and the early stages of Group B here. There's been a minimum of 6 legs in this head-to-head this week. And on one occasion, we had all 7 legs. That was on Monday, which was won by Johann. That was game 2 of his week. what he would give for another win in what is a very fascinating table.
140.
Keelan Kay, who has Brouwer in his last match in match 9, has got a monstrous chance now of running the card on a night that, for all of us, we thought it was going to be at Crabtree and Bolton.
To the point where
140.
it was expected that there wasn't a conceivable scenario that most definitely Bolton and most probably Crabtree wouldn't get out of the group.
60.
But there's a possibility that neither could get through now.
61.
It's definitely turning into one of the weirdest weeks I can remember.
$125.
There is nothing weird about that. That was very, very good.
Now, when we step foot in these commentary boxes, we never preempt what we're about to describe. But there's some things that take you by surprise more than others, and the patterns of play this week has most certainly been the case. That dart took Johann by surprise. Double 16.
Game shot on the first leg.
Gets up and going. He leads 1-0 with a break of throw.
He may have just broken the world record for how to retrieve a dart so quickly from 7'9" and a quarter. He's a very energetic bloke, isn't he? By the way, during the break, when we were watching some highlights of our recent very successful influencer day, if you were here for that, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed watching it on YouTube as well. Who's your favourite influencer, Henry? I've never asked you this question. Who do you follow on socials who really gets the juices flowing?
I haven't got a clue.
Well, if you want to be a bit more honest, that would be great.
118.
I haven't got a clue, I'll be honest. It's just... I understand why people like it and people enjoy it. It's just not my bat. That's just me, I'll be honest. But I understand why people enjoy it, and I'm glad that people enjoy it.
81.
Am I all right to say that that's a rubbish answer?
Well, in that case, who's your favourite influencer?
Well, I'm going to say based on the shirt you're wearing today, it'll be Noel Edmonds.
There is nothing wrong with the shirt.
Oh, yes, there is. And this is a Super Series pantomime, which I'm going to win. But Joe Murnan might win this leg after that 170 approach. I will answer your question in the next leg, by the way, because I do have a favourite influencer.
100.
Inverted commas.
Johann 32.
Well, double 16 for Murnan for 13 darter, up for double 8. 2 4s.
24.
Doesn't go, and this for a 2-0 lead.
100.
Looks like he's ready for it. Double top.
80.
Not quite ready. The despair can be heard. Possibly outside on London Road. Double 4 for Murnan. The missed starts at double are creeping into his game again.
Well, this is for 2-0. Double 5. Well, this is getting nervy.
Game shot on the second leg.
Brouwer doubles his lead, 2-0. Well, this is the exclusive that everybody this evening has been awaiting on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. There is thousands of people that are listening and looking forward to the answer that you're about to give, because we are about to find out one of the best scoops we've ever had here at the Live Lounge, because Paul Nicholson is going to tell us about his favourite influencers.
Would you like to give me a larger build-up, please? Because that wasn't long enough.
I can if you like.
My favourite influencer is Noel Edmonds. I'm only joking. No, being serious for a moment, someone that I've followed for a while now, I find very influential, is a guy called Andy Herndon. He's a chef. He has a page called Andy Cooks. Lives down in Australia. Fabulous 20-year chef. Does loads of really good stuff. And he inspires me to keep cooking and doing loads of different stuff. So Andy Herndon is my favourite influencer.
Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest. Because I use the internet a lot for work,
55.
I don't tend to devour too much when I'm off duty.
Spoken like the politician that you are.
45. Joe Ricard, 88.
Come on, Joe. Got to sort these doubles out. Got to get there first, unfortunately.
18.
This leg is not over. Murnan has had 6 darts at double and has not hit any of them. So if Johann taps him on the shoulder,
100. Joe Ricard,
there is a
70.
chance that Murnan might slip again. It's the bullseye.
45.
And he has slipped up.
Johann Ricard, 96.
Johann is climbing the ladder of the table faster than a world champion firefighter.
Double 18 for the break and 3-0. One more double 9. Murnan lurking in the background.
87.
And he's
Joe
going
Ricard,
to get a
25.
go at 25 to half the arrears in this contest. Double 8. 2 4s.
17.
Not to be.
Johann Ricard, 9.
Double break chance.
His turn on double 4. Joe is not a happy bunny.
Game shot on the third leg. Johann Brouwer.
He's even more displeased now. Everything
Fourth leg,
Johann
to throw
touches
first.
tonight
Game on.
is looking very bright. Whereas Murnan, who has got 2 points in the bag, courtesy of beating Crabtree in game 4,
58.
he's probably wondering, where is his game at the minute? It is a question that we ask of people at the start of a week.
95.
Every single week. No matter what they say in response to that question, it's what they do on the dartboard that proves where their game is at. And if we may be so blunt, Murnan, who is under an 80 average this week, is there any cell in his body that is happy with that? Absolutely not.
$59.
Well, that's a better dart. That's what he's looking for.
95.
But it doesn't get him to a finish. We have not had a 4-0 all night long. First time I've quoted Lionel Richie here
100.
tonight.
Well, the man who'll be darting on the ceiling right now is Keelan Kay. He's 6 points from 6.
128.
Johann Brouwer, if he can pin the 144. Would have found himself in a very good position. He could have been one step
60.
closer to saying
Joe
hello
Ricard,
to
43.
Saturday night.
Game shot on the fourth
There you
leg.
go.
Joe Murnan.
First leg for Murnan in this match. He is not going to be bageled.
Fifth leg, Joe to throw first.
Bit late
Game
for
on.
bagels.
It's never too late for bagels. But it's never the right time for cinnamon ones. They are the work of the devil.
125.
Nah, a bit more of a crumpet man myself at this time of night.
I haven't heard that about you.
$99.
Anyway, all
99.
about the bread and butter, and that is the 2 points at stake.
Yeah, but what kind of butter do you want? There are different levels of butter. There's basic
96.
stuff, then there's sumptuous stuff. I take it you've never had chicken butter.
No, but I've had truffle butter. Oh, truffle butter's good.
57.
So when you're looking for bread and butter darts, we're talking about different types of darts as well. And this is truffle butter darts.
Well, that's a line I never expected to hear.
Oh, I can better that.
139.
As far as legs go, This is like
40.
an Alaskan
Johann
king crab
167.
starter in a nice formulaic Vietnamese tian. Nice and layered. And it could be the perfect way to finish.
Right, it puts Brouwer in one of the box
125.
seats.
Johann, your car 81.
If he could pin this 81 to seal a 4-1 win. You then take on Keelan Kay. If he could win that one, he could be top of the table overnight. But first things first, double 12 to win this particular tungsten battle. Now 2 6s for win number 2.
69.
Not to be, and so Murnan will return for the 55.
I'm not going to lie, I thought he was going to hit that. And it just so happens that he had to. Murnan keeps the game alive, and maybe his doubles are starting to shine a bit.
To throw first.
Well, this is the insurance policy, isn't it, for Johann? This is the leg he has the darts in. Well, I feel like that's going to be the type of image that our social media team are going to be putting up on their handles and saying, right, quote
60.
that challenge.
Are we still talking about cinnamon bagels here? Or insurance policies?
130.
It's amazing how diverse the conversation can be in a darts match. When you go from cinnamon bagels to insurance policies. What other sport can that happen in?
60.
I could do it in football on Sunday if you want.
Off you go then.
58.
We could do it on Saturday night here, but we are still none the wiser as to who's going to join Ron Meulenkamp. He's probably kicking back right now. He could even be asleep.
58.
He can do what he wants for a couple of days, as long as he's ready for about 5 o'clock on Saturday night.
93.
This is a very, very tight fixture. And yet again, we are guaranteed 6 legs from it.
93.
Just remember, everybody, at this late hour in the UK, and to everybody from around the world who's tuning in, if you are having a flutter on any of these matches, no matter
85.
what wager you're placing, please gamble responsibly. It's over 18s only. And in the UK, begambleaware.org is the information website you need.
$100.
It's
Joe
steady,
Car 128.
but he wanted more.
Just feels like things are just beginning to slide away from Johann.
It's a very apt tune for Joe, considering that's an
54.
Oasis song.
Johann,
And he's from the
130.
northwest. He's got a shot at the ball to win the match.
81. Joe Car 74.
Don't look back in anger, Johann. Now Joe's looking to go supersonic.
34.
But wow,
Johann
that really was a
49.
supersonic dart. It was way too high.
And after all, it could be Brouwer who stands tall and with the 2 points to his name. Hasn't quite been an oasis of excellence in this match. But tops would be enough. It is enough to end the contest and to seal a 4-2 win over Joe Murnan. It means that now he has 2 wins from 3 and he has put himself in a marvellous position to progress. He wins the battle between the 2 Group A participants. Coming up after the break, it was the 2 joint favourites at the beginning of the night who have had their toils and troubles. Crabtree and Bolton, and this is a battle at the bottom of the table. But it's going to come up after the break nonetheless. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Johann Brouwer got the better of Joe Murnan by 4 legs to 2. Well, this should be the heavyweight battle of the evening, or at least that was how it was perceived on paper before a dart was thrown in anger. But the darts have been thrown angrily by both Cam Crabtree and Andy Bolton this evening, because these two players have had their troubles this evening. Bolton have had a win to his name. Crabtree's only won 1 match so far tonight. And so the winner will put themselves in a decent stead. The loser is going to have work to do. And for Crabtree, this is his last game of the night.
There are 2 things on the line here. One thing is,
95.
If Cam was to walk away with 4 points, he's still not going to be happy, but he'll be happier with 4 than 2, that's for sure. But if he
99.
can put at least 2 points between him and Andy overnight, he'll see that as a huge plus.
60.
Oh, my. What is it about this week and that happening to a lot of players? I've never seen anything like it.
The only thing we haven't seen yet is all 3 darts come out.
Yes.
43.
Touch wood. It's getting ridiculous. It's easily 5 or 6 players who have experienced an awful lot of bad deflections this week.
However, that 1-3-4 recovery may have just helped him out, but effectively, Bolton's got a free turn
100.
because of the bounce outs in that previous visit for Crabtree. Luckily for him, the dart that did stay in the ball was in the treble bet.
58.
That from Andy is telling you everything you need to know about where he's at tonight. He doesn't like that first start, and he just doesn't understand it.
81.
He can't rescue it either, which means that Cam does have 6 starts from 154.
82.
For all the praise that we've heaped on Cam over a large swathe of time, he just cuts a very dejected and frustrated figure at the back of the stage right about now.
44. Come to car 72.
Well, if he hits this, he could be a funk soul brother.
Game shot on the first leg.
That'll
Cam
do.
Crabtree.
He probably doesn't even know what a funk soul brother is.
Second leg Andy to throw first. Game on.
Something from a Fat Boy Slim track, following on from your previous line. Right about now, the funk soul... you get it. You don't need a certain app that is listed on the back of his shirt to figure that out.
100.
Wasn't that the famous Pepsi advert with Ronaldinho, etc.?
Yeah, it might have been.
Well, right here, right now, Crabtree has hit a max to kickstart leg 2.
These two have played each other in a Champions Week before.
140.
A few times. That's why we called this fixture a heavyweight fixture.
50.
When you've played somebody in week 13 of a cycle, that is a very strong thing to say. Because it means the 2 players have had a very good level of success. This 271 is Cam trying to leave a finish, and he does so very, very well. The tactics on that approach are elite.
But these two are some of the elite Aerosmiths we have here at the Live Lounge. I mean, if we were able to have an order of merit or a tiered system, in my Super Series-pedia, I'd have these in the top 16. As Bolton levels up with a 13-1-1.
Did you just say Super Series-pedia?
Game on.
Never thought I'd hear that. That one's new on me. Take a bit of time to construct that particular website, but you just never know. You don't need that website. You just need to ask you questions about this place.
97.
You know more about it than anybody.
Do you want to put it to the test?
Nope. Not tonight.
100.
But I will tomorrow.
Well, it looks like I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm going to be swatting up.
Is that what you call it?
100.
Well, this is a time frame that these two will be very accustomed to.
125.
If you're a debutant here in Group B, like Johann Brouwer is, honestly, how many times
60.
can he say that he's played
159.
half 12 or beyond? Not many times, I'm thinking. Not even in the Netherlands.
99.
We'll find out what he's got left in the tank against Keelan Kay next. But it obviously looks like Cam has got plenty in the tank.
140.
Here in his
Cam
last
Crabtree,
game.
40.
Well, he needs to empty it here. Double 10.
Game shot on the third leg.
13
Cam
of
Crabtree.
Bolton has been cancelled out by a 14 of Crabtree, and he leads 2-1.
Fourth leg Andy to throw first. Game on.
You know, there is a fine balance between being relaxed and energised to be able to play your best darts. You can be too relaxed, which can result in you
53.
throwing darts with what Patrick Swayze used to call spaghetti arm. You do need to have some sort of
59.
adrenaline pumping through your bloodstream. If you don't have that, darts can be very hard. But it's also at the other end of the scale. If you've got too much adrenaline,
45.
your arm can become almost too energized and you don't have enough feel. At which point does Andy Bolton start to crack?
140.
Because he's got a lot of patience, but even he, with all of his experience, based on the night he's had,
140.
where does he say to himself, oh, I'm sick of this? Because everybody has got their breaking point.
92.
All I will say is every action has a reaction. And I think for Bolton, you're going to see a different beast on that stage
59.
tomorrow. He's awakening like a beast. Well, that could just be the moment that maybe things change. Sometimes you just need to let that steam out. Sometimes you can't let it be pent up for so long.
85.
That's what you got to do in power stations, isn't it? You got to vent the gas. Give me a Y. Give me an E. Give me an S. Very, very famous episode of The Simpsons, where he triples his productivity. Does Homer by just
60.
pressing Y.
Cam Crabtree, 125.
And that question of why is probably circling Andy's head right now, as if to say, well, why has it gone this way tonight?
77.
Well,
Andy
simply
Crabtree,
put, he's going to have to take
144.
out the 144, otherwise he's under severe threat of being broken. Now, I have a very strong suspicion this first dart for Cam Crabtree is going to be at the
60.
single eight, because
Cam
that
Crabtree,
southwest
48.
region of the board has not been fun at all for him tonight.
Dart players are stubborn, though.
Stubborn he is.
Game shot on
Hit
the
he
fourth
will.
leg, Cam Crabtree.
Lead 3-1 he will become.
Fifth leg Cam to throw first. Game on.
The doubling in this match has been sublime from both players. In fact, only 5 darts at a double in the entire
95.
match, with 4 hits. Tim in our live chat has posed a question for myself, which I'd like to pose to you as well, Henry.
96.
We call things as we see them, but Tim has asked, who is my favourite dart player in the Modus Super Series?
100.
That's a very good question, actually. I'm going to have to go with Steve West, I think. Good friend of mine. Currently on the road to recovery from hip
60.
surgery and the winner of 4 weekly titles and has a 9-darter against Luke Littler. So I'm going to have to go with Westy. What about you, Henry?
Oh, I'm just completely impartial. I have no
Of course you are. You're a politician. Moving straight on. Tim, I tried. That's all I'm going to say. I tried. Trying to get an answer out of this guy is like trying to take Excalibur's sword out the stone.
57.
Come on, Cam. Give us something spectacular. Andy is hoping that you don't. Now, 76, and he's got to go 19s. Single 19 leaves 170.
95.
And he may have rejected the possibility of getting the treble there because that single was right in the middle.
I'll give you an answer. Connor Scutt. He's up there. I like players who've got a journey in the background. And Crabtree's a player who's very much been on a journey. And he's got 6 for the match here from the Fish.
He's got plenty of big finishes tonight.
55.
But it will be something very familiar to the multitude of 120 finishes he's got tonight.
100.
That will give him a 4-1 victory and 4 points to go to sleep with.
Be his 6th ton plus finish of the night. And he's going to have a dart, a double 18 to win by 4 legs to 1. It's been a trying night at times for Cam Crabtree. Well, he didn't really want to celebrate that, but he has gesticulated the win. He has sealed the win, and he's got 4 points from his efforts this evening. He gets the better of Andy Bolton by 4 legs to 1. Bolton still not picked up a win so far this evening. He's going to have one more crack to do that, but before that, we're going to watch Keelan Kay in action against Johann Brouwer. That's coming up after this short break. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Cam Crabtree got the better of Andy Bolton by 4 legs to 1, average of 92.12. 4 from 5 on his doubles, finishing off with a 115 checkout. So we head into our penultimate match of the night. It sees Johann Brouwer and Keelan Kay go toe-to-toe on the Yoki. Both of these players' last game of the evening. Keelan has the chance to complete the card if he can win this particular match. And he'd be in such a good position to make it through to Saturday night's final if he can win this contest. But if Johann can pick up the win in this match, well, the pair will be going to bed on the same number of points. Keelan hasn't had to play at his best. As a matter of fact, so far this evening, Keelan hasn't had an average above the 80 mark, but he's won each of his games.
77.44 is average for the night, and he hasn't lost. Mystifying stuff. His doubles have been fine. In 2 of his games, he'll be
81.
Pleased with his doubling. Got somewhat fortunate when he was playing Andy Bolton that 17 darts at a double yielded 4 hits.
180.
But that'll make him feel good. One thing he has done predominantly tonight is start games well.
46.
But what is puzzling me is the complexion
100
of the entire week. Now, we have had 2 players now who have averaged over 90 twice. One is Meulenkamp, who is sitting pretty in Saturday night. The other is Cam Crabtree. He's done that tonight twice, and he's won both of those games. But he will still be scratching his head when he leaves, thinking, that was a very strange evening, because he had 57 darts at a double in 4 games. There are people who have played 5 games in a day multiple times this week and had nowhere near 57 darts.
99. Keelan Kay 40.
Well, he's left topped after 12 to get the break in this opening leg as Keelan. Won the lap he is with the break. The top's found first time of asking, and he's a quarter of a way there towards completing the card for the night.
Who honestly thought, hand on heart, hand on head as well,
135.
thought that Keelan Kay was going to run the show tonight? As big an admirer as I am of Keelan, I looked at his form and I didn't think he was going to do it. But he has a brilliant chance of it. So fair play to him. He's won some very key moments tonight.
And even though it hasn't been the best darts that we've seen from the Lord of the Board, he can draw a lot of confidence out of the fact that he is winning games. And actually, he recently had a decent run on the development tour. And he, by his own admission, said he didn't play his best to go on that deep run. But he managed to find a way of churning out results. And sometimes in this business, that is what it's all about. Sometimes just get the results, build that confidence, and if you're winning games, the performances will soon come with it.
If there's one thing they can do very well in Cornwall, it's churn things. Have you had Cornish clotted cream yet?
Oh, yeah.
96.
On a scone or a scone?
Oh, I'm not going down that road. I was thinking more along the lines of clotted cream ice cream, which is one of the greatest pleasures in life. But when you finish the whole tub, you need a cardiologist.
Yeah, can you not talk to me about food at this midnight hour?
$57.
The only thing these lads are hungry for are points. 2 more on offer in this fixture, and then after that, they can do what they want.
97.
That's a decent approach there from Keelan.
26.
Hasn't been the king of the big finish this week, but if you cast your mind back to his first game on Monday, to win his first match, he took it 133, which is a very, very difficult out.
98. Keelan Kay 70.
This one is gettable. It's a fundamental finish. Double 10.
Getting shot on the second leg.
Fundamentals are brilliant. So far, so very, very good.
Johann to throw first. Game on.
I wouldn't classify it as special from Mr. Kay, but I would classify it as more than good enough.
100.
But am I doing him
60.
a disservice? And he is averaging nearly 96 here. Although that trebleless visit has brought it down by a few points. Maybe those first two legs are a little bit better than we give him credit for.
100.
And that's the kind of level that Johann has not attained this week.
81.
Maybe that's the reason why Keelan is feeling bulletproof in this game. He has not allowed Johann a shot to double yet.
100.
He can feel bulletproof, and to a certain extent, he's got nothing to lose as far as this contest is concerned. He's got 6 points to his name. If he can win this, fantastic. He is going to hold all the aces
60.
going into day 2, but there's a possibility that even if he loses this game, he could still be the premier player overnight.
Correct. But if I were in his shoes, I'd
45.
think about this. My game now is against Johann. My first game later today is against Johann again. If I can beat him twice, I'm in Saturday.
Johann,
Saturday is within touching distance now for Keelan Kay. It is not for a lot of players in this group. He's not going to replicate what he's done this week by hitting a 156. He had a shot at it earlier tonight as well and only just missed
80.
it.
But
this has been hit many times tonight. Can Keelan dip his bread?
Well, he's not going to do Luke Littler.
Yeah, that was quite something in Sheffield tonight as Littler took out 3 double tops against Peter Wright,
76.
which made him spill his water.
Jose de Souza walked so Luke Littler could run.
I know what you've been reading. Double top.
56. Keelan 70.
How about we mention Greg Ritchie, who hit 3 double tops in Southampton? What about Reece Robinson, who's done it here twice? And that is 3-0 for Kay. This is a great performance now. And he is not just walking on that stage, he is striding.
Well, the Lord of the Board will feel like he's walking on water right now.
You know the referee wouldn't call him the Lord of the Board. He'd call him Lord at Board. There's no the in Lord at Board, it's just a T.
83.
This late hour is a bit thirsty. 130.
It's 10-1 on this Friday morning. We've been in the commentary box together for the last 12 hours and Paul Nicholson has finally cracked.
I have not cracked. I am very much intact. And I like to have fun, as everybody does when they're watching on YouTube. The one person who's not having fun right now is Johann Brouwer. Because after 6 darts, he's only on 377. He's having to watch Keelan Kay stride towards the finishing post. And the best case scenario for him, all jokes aside, is 8 points and a double-digit positive leg difference. Under no circumstances could tonight have gone any better if he wins this leg.
140.
Well, quite literally it couldn't have gone better because he'll win 4 games on 4 and he'll be top of the pile. And he is going to have time on his side. 6 on 160 to get the job done and to complete the card on night 1. He is going to come back.
80.
Oh, that is cruel.
He joins the club of having darts rejected from his own equipment. But it is
81.
A table-topping chance
80.
to give himself the best possible breathing room ahead of coming back later tonight to start in game 2.
Tops a K, and that's a card completion dart that's come and gone.
Still needs that 60 and doesn't get it. So now Keelan comes back to make everything A-OK. But this is not Group A.
47.
So this is to make everything B-OK.
Double 10. Double 5. It's been a special night for Keelan Kay, who completes the card. The Lord of the Board is the man at the top of the manor here in Group B. He gets the better of Johann Brouwer by 4-0. Have a look at that beaming smile from ear to ear for Keelan Kay. A smile back on the face. The last time he was here, it ended in disappointment. And he could well be one win tomorrow night away from a finals night. Coming up after the break, it's our last game of the evening session. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where it's still going strong, approaching 1 o'clock in the morning here in Portsmouth. It's our final game of the session, and it sees Andy Bolton and Joe Murnan go toe-to-toe on the hockey. Well, Murnan kick-started the show with a defeat to Keelan Kay, who has gone on to complete the card. He got the better of Johann Brouwer by 4-0 before the break. 4 wins from 4 from the Lord of the Board. He is in full command of this group. But who would have imagined, Paul Nicholson, that we'd be heading into the final game of the night, and we'd be saying that Andy Bolton has not got a win to his name?
This entire week, I think we can categorise in 3 words. Script meet shredder.
140.
We're supposed to be experts in this field. We were talking about Crabtree and Bolton possibly
35.
dominating this group scenario. Cam has subsequently put in a couple of good performances tonight and got himself in a good position at this stage. But
43.
if you'd have said to me at the start of play, when we started this programme, that Bolton would come into this game with Murnan with no points, I would have looked at you like you had 4 heads.
93.
But this is not dreamland. This is not darts on paper. This is reality, proving that darts is played by human beings.
134.
If darts was played by AI, it would be boring and predictable.
36.
This is sport played by human beings. That's why we can try to predict what's going to happen, but every now and again, we can get it very, very wrong.
122.
Well, you mentioned the last game. Is there a moment where Andy Bolton has enough? Well, he's made a real good start to this contest. And is that Andy Bolton fighting a phantom dart?
He's been spending too much time with Cam. Double top.
Game shot on the first
Maybe
leg.
he's
Andy
doing
Bolton.
something in the background that he has figured out. It might be an
Second leg,
elbow
Joe
position.
first. Game
It
on.
might be a set position thing. He's just trying to work on something that hasn't quite clicked tonight. But in that first leg,
39.
that 15 darter, that has clicked. It's the best start he's had all night long.
59.
As for Murnan, his sole win against Cam Crabtree was in a somewhat attritional battle in game number 4.
21.
His doubles have been suspect again. 34 darts at a double and 7
100.
hits. It's just not enough. And he's going to be involved in a dogfight when it comes to
99.
the top 3, because Keelan Kay, no matter what happens in this fixture, is going to be 4 points ahead. And if he beats Johann Brouwer again,
140.
he's going to be safe with 3 games to go.
58.
A Bolton win is the best result for Keelan Kay, because it means that any one win tomorrow night, he will get the job done. It actually makes life easier for him.
145.
A simplification of the scenario.
Well, it's a bit of a poison chalice, winning all your games in a campaign and coming in the next day. You saw what happened with
100.
Muhlenkamp on Tuesday. Yes, he won all of his games again on Tuesday, but his output was drastically reduced.
And winning 8 points on night 1 doesn't guarantee
Game
serene
shot on the second
passage
leg.
on night
Andy
2.
Bolton.
Bolton makes it 2-0. We have seen in the past players win all 4 games
Third
on a
leg, Andy to
Thursday and
throw
it
first.
completely
Game on.
fall to pieces on a Friday. It's not a foregone conclusion, a perfect Thursday night.
100.
But a double perfect Thursday night and Friday night, that's not exactly something we see every week.
84.
But we have seen it in this series, courtesy of Bow and Arrow.
I think Bo Grease has broken
99.
every single record so far that she could have possibly broken here.
Just give her more games, she might break more.
She's going to get a lot of games in the next couple of weeks.
59.
Champions Week followed by Women's Week. And she said that she wants to have as many goes as this now as possible. I think she's really found her home here at the Super Series. It's taken us a
92.
while to get her in this building, and now I don't think we can fling her out of it.
Let's face facts, we're going to see so much of Bo Greaves over the next few weeks, she might as well buy a house here.
46.
Yeah, she picks up the 25k. She wouldn't be far away from putting a deposit down.
58.
Wouldn't be the worst investment. Well, Andy's got himself a
134.
really nice spot here. Even by
152.
hitting 2 treble 19s, Joe's not on a finish. And Andy might be looking to get rid of this smart-ish.
100.
Well, Bolton leaves himself on 52 to move himself 3-0 to the good. But Murnan is going to
138.
leave himself on a double.
52.
He has posed the question of Bolton who is playing more like the X Factor that we know.
36.
But he cannot
Joe
find
40.
the double 16.
The smile of disgust. As Murnan goes for 10s.
Getting shot on the third leg.
And takes
Joe
the
Murnan.
cake. Nothing is coming
Fourth leg,
easy
Joe
to
throw
Bolton
first.
tonight.
Game on.
What could have been 3-0 in a matter of 5 minutes now turns into another battle.
123.
This will be the first match come Friday
60.
night at 10 p.m. We hope you can join us then. But don't forget, we have got the climax of Group C from 1 o'clock in a matter of 12 hours' time, almost exactly. Same place, different time.
140.
Usual Friday frivolities. And as for
58.
those frivolities, easy for me to say, in Group C, there are plenty of possibilities.
83. Joe, your car 140.
Well, Bolton came out the tracks flying, but it's just slowed up a little bit. Murnan 140 for 2-2 as Bolton goes through his
82.
traditional pre-throw exercises.
He's not alone in doing that either. There's quite a few players who do that. They've all got
96.
their little
Joe, your car
ways of
58.
loosening the shoulder and the back muscles up.
Getting
But
shot on the
somebody,
fourth leg,
all of
Joe
a sudden,
Murnan.
who is called Joe Murnan, an hour past midnight, is starting to warm up himself.
Fifth leg, Andy to throw first. Game on.
Well, these two will have run into each other many, many times on different circuits. Challenge Tour, Pro Tour, BDO back in the
59.
day. Independent stuff, probably before Andy moved to Scotland.
96.
I wonder what Andy's made of
100.
Mr. Carter this week. Because Andy is originally from the Stoke area.
137.
Josh Carter is in with a chance of getting through Group C a little bit later on. And that has been the tale of the tape this week. People not playing their best darts, but
82.
still having chances.
Well, this is a big passage in play for Bolton. He loses this one. He is 4 points behind
59.
everybody else in the pack, apart from Keelan Kay, who he'll be 8 adrift of. If he loses both battles against Murnan here, he's pretty much, well, that was a sickly dart.
40.
Seemingly, quite literally. It's like he's just eaten a apple sours. One of those soury sweets, you know, those ones you get on the Roundtrees packs.
99.
Yeah, they don't sound very appealing. Or we could go down the old school angle of when
100.
people are playing
Joe
so badly
Carr,
they get the bowl
110.
of sick.
We love the bowl of sick.
I don't want to know about your dinner.
54.
I want to know about this
And your car
120.
120.
If we had such a thing as a phone a friend, Andy would phone Cam Crabtree to hit this for him. Well, two options. Find the 60 with a sat-nav, or go bullseye, bullseye. But is that the right thing to do in this spot? It probably is. Which is why he did it.
42.
Well, I think the wrong play
Joe
would have been
Carr,
to
56.
chase, because again, the bounce out could have been a preeminent possibility. But Murnan here, who remember was a couple of legs down in this. Oh my. Guess
16.
what?
Andy your car 78.
Second time in this match he's hit his own stem. And I just wonder if the damaged stem, which is a little bit wider because of the damage, is what caused that shot. And it
Getting
may
shot
have
on the
cost
fifth
him the
leg.
leg.
Andy
It
Bolton.
definitely cost him a shot at double.
6-leg Joe to throw
So
first.
Bolton
Game on.
3-2 up, a leg away from his first win of the night to end the night.
100.
There'll be nothing less than relief. The table will read in points if Bolton wins another leg. Bolton 2, Murnan 2, Brouwer 4,
38.
Crabtree 4, Keelan Kay 8. Sounds like a Super Series classified score, doesn't it?
99.
But if you'd given me the opportunity of trying to predict the points tallies for the players tonight, I would have got it so wrong. In fact, I think I would have got
60.
everything wrong.
You could perhaps make an argument that you could have flip-flopped the table.
55.
Or if you've got 2 left feet, you can flip the table.
Well, this is a time of year where 1 or 2 people do enjoy wearing flip-flops in and around home and other establishments. It's not a pretty sight, I promise.
100.
Just go barefooted or wear shoes. Simple as that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
180.
Just flip-flops are awful bit of clothing.
I know what he's talking about. That 180 probably could be heard in the next street.
139.
And we don't mind that whatsoever. That's a
67.
great visit from Andy. But are we going the distance one more time?
47.
Only Andy can stop it.
Well, this would be a real grandstand finish. But it's not going to be the case. And so Murnan will
60.
return for double 10 to send us all the way to a deciding leg. Double 5. Doesn't
10.
go.
Andy O'Carr 104.
This is something that Andy has not had all night. But it is a match-winning chance now.
And he takes it out in style. He seals his first win in style. And Andy Bolton is off the mark. He has got that elusive win that he has had to wait all night to get and accrue. He gets the better of Joe Murnan in the end by 4 legs to 2. That's the tail of the tape from our final match of the evening session here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. It was a night dominated by Keelan Kay. He won all 4 matches on this Thursday evening. It's the Lord of the Board that takes command at the top of the table. Myself and Paul Nicholson will analyse all the action next. Well, welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where it's been a special night for that man there, Keelan Kay. 4 wins from 4. Many congratulations. Must be pleased with how tonight's gone.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a bit of an little bit of a surprise, really. After the last couple of weeks, the form's not really been there. But took my chances, hit my doubles well, and that's what's done it, I think.
Did you have a target as to how many points you thought you could realistically get tonight?
If I'm perfectly honest, I would have took 2 points tonight. After the last couple of weeks have not been great, but to win all 4, brilliant, ideal.
So from that perspective, did you almost have a case of free roll going into this evening? The fact that maybe people didn't quite fancy you, you in terms of form haven't been great with the last few weeks, but you had an opportunity here just to go out there and almost enjoy yourself to a certain extent.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, like I said in our interview earlier, under the radar, and I think that's worked tonight really, if anything, and hopefully take that into tomorrow night as well.
What's worked tonight, and is there still a few ways that you can improve, do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. To be honest with you, I don't feel like I played to a massively great standard tonight. I think my finishing is what done it mainly, but my scoring wasn't, I don't think, great. But if you hit doubles, you win.
You look really pleased when you got that fourth leg against Johann. Did you sense that he was starting to tire at the end?
A little bit. I mean, you're sort of in the zone focusing, you don't really notice what they're doing. But I knew he'd been playing well all week and he's been really good at times, and I just thought you'd take your chances again. And luckily I did and got over the line.
You're one of the most experienced campaigners on this format, whether it's in this building, the Southampton building, and even from home when we played that during the lockdown in the pandemic. Did that sort of experience, knowing this inside out, knowing how this works, did that actually work to your advantage at points this evening?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
And then as the night went along, you drew in more confidence. And that last game, really, really impressive performance.
Yeah, I just wanted to go out and not do what I've done in the past and let myself down in the last game and make a sort of a statement. I did a little bit, 4-0 win against a player who's done really well all week. And yeah, hopefully take it into tomorrow, like I said.
Best average that you've had all night came in your last match. Best result. And obviously you go into the second night with 8 points. What's the immediate thought of what you've got to do later today to ensure that you've got to get through? Because it's easy, and we have seen it in the past. Some people have said, I've got 8 points, I'm almost there. They take their foot off the gas. What do you initially think that you've got to do?
Initially do the same sort of mindset as I went into tonight, because the sort of mindset I went into tonight was you either play well or you're going home early. And I've told you, I think that's worked tonight. And luckily my doubles have gone in at the same time. And it's not all done now, it's to play for tomorrow night as well.
Do you think at times this evening, when you look at the overall passage of play in the group, that it was just about taking chances, that maybe not everybody played to their best night, there were still gears left out there?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, if you look back at it, and I'll probably watch it back somewhere later, the amount of chances that people had against me and didn't take it, but in the past where I've not took them either. So luckily I took them tonight, and I think that's what's done it.
End of your game with Cam, what kind of happened there?
To be honest, I don't know. I hit the winning double, come back and shook his hand. I don't know, the honest answer.
Well, this is the incident in question here. As you can see on the monitor, looks up to the watch and we're just waiting to see how long you're going to throw the dart for.
The only thing I could put that down to is everyone knows me as a fast, quick player, and I've took an extra breath to make sure that double eight goes in. And fortunately it did for me. That's the only thing I can think of.
Darts is a very frustrating sport, isn't it? When you're having a really frustrating night, we are synonymous with finding little excuses to say that it's not our fault, but it could be as simple as Cam wasn't happy with his own performances, right? It wasn't necessarily something you did.
Yeah, I think that'll be the case, yeah. I'm sure it will. I don't know what happened. All I've done was my winning double.
And you know what happens in this sport when things happen, everything just surfaces up. But does it say a lot about the maturity for yourself, particularly in moments like that, as to, right, this is what I'm doing, I do what I need to do to get those wins?
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. Like you say, I've got a lot of experience from playing from home in Southampton and here, and luckily tonight it's sort of paid off, and hopefully I can take that into tomorrow night as well.
Considering you've been playing in this format for, 5 years nearly?
Yeah.
Scary to think about that.
Yeah.
But of all of the campaigns that you've been involved in, is that the most enjoyable one you've had?
Yeah, I think so, because I think if you look at it on paper, it's probably one of the toughest groups I've played in, and I feel like that. I say I would have happy with 2 points tonight, if I'm honest, looking at the players in the group, but to come away with all 4 is brilliant.
How much would qualifying for a finals night mean for you, Keelan?
It would mean an awful lot. Like I said in our interview earlier, I've only ever made Saturday night once out of all the weeks I've played. But like I say, it's not done yet, and I'm not going to go into tomorrow night thinking it's done, because it's not.
Well, many congratulations, team. Thank you so much for popping up and having a chat with us. All the very best tomorrow. See you first thing tomorrow morning for the double session Friday.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Friday's a great, exciting day because we get to find out who is going to join for the Week 12 finals. And we are so close to Champions Week, we can almost taste it.
Well, it should be good fun. Gents, thank you so much. Thank you to you as well for joining us this evening here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where, as far as Group B is concerned, it's the Lord of the Board who's top of the table, and that is the Darts Say We.